Hello everyone and welcome. I forgot I was gonna go take another ibuprofen. Fuck, I'm not medicated. Well, for the time being, the Misc broadcasting to you now is not medicated. Or maybe I am, I don't know how long ibuprofen lasts. I got my COVID booster, I got another one. And I got a flu shot for the first time in forever because I'm gonna be traveling soon. And you know, traveling during flu season and in a, well, we're not really post-COVID, I don't know. I feel like that's a mildly inaccurate term, but you know, a world in which COVID is a thing, you should probably get your vaccines and shit before traveling. So, you know, my arm's a bit sore. I've got some 15-pound weights here I've been lifting to make sure that I'm fucking schmoovin' this shit so that I can actually use it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm lifting one right now, which is probably a really bad idea to do in like a swivel office chair. But here I am now. And yeah. So how are you guys? I think this music's too low-key. We gotta switch this shit up. Hold on. 9 out of 10 doctors will hate this stream. Maybe. I don't know. Don't 9 out of 10 doctors approve of you getting your vaccines? Or is it because I said I basically never get a flu shot? I believe I said they're 15-pound weights. Is this the? Last I checked, this is myself. No medication, so unprofessional. I know. What kind of fucking amateur live streams without being on some kind of medication? I should probably promote this stream at least in the Grievers server, even though Grievers already aware of the stream being a thing. And should probably announce to the server that we're doing a stream right now. Oh yeah, and I should pull the stream up on my phone to make sure everything's good, because that is important. Here at Site 77, we allow SCP-5028 to wander about. Oh, it's the raccoon. Nice. Talk to me when you curl 10 pounds. This is more than 10 pounds. It's 15. How are you doing? I'm alright. I got back from dinner a little while ago. It took a little bit longer than expected, hence why this stream has started a few minutes later than expected. Let's see. We're live. We are alive. £20 is the new high. I think I've curled 20 before. Though I'm not actually sure if we've ever owned 20-pound weights. I do not know. Anyway, we got 12 people in here, but only 7 likes. So if you guys are in here and you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's hop in VC, shall we? Hello, Neve.
Hello.
How are you?
Corrupted Monk, I forgot you were streaming.
That's hilarious.
Hello, how are you? How's it feel, being unemployed again?
Feels pretty great, in all honesty. It's mostly because I'm not broke and I don't have bills to pay, which is an ideal combination. This is
Mm.
effectively what retirement feels like, but I'm not dying anytime soon, and I don't have enough money to be retired. So it's kind of like a pseudo-retirement. Mostly just because I'm going to be going off to school in like a month.
Yeah.
So, no point in continuing to work retail over the holidays.
Yeah, so do you know when about in January you're going?
Early January. It depends on where I'm going. Still gonna be within the first 10 days of January.
I see.
So, a month from now, regardless, within a month I will be off somewhere else. And I do not know how much I'll be able to stream, because I'm pretty sure college Wi-Fi is kind of shitty.
Okay, maybe we'll get somewhere with correct internet, hopefully.
Unlikely. Like, even if the internet's good, it's probably not good for streaming. Hello, band.
Oh, hey, band.
Average band response.
Yeah.
There he is.
There we go.
How are you, band?
We're good.
I see. Yep, that sounds about right. Tell me, band, what is your work experience? What does your resume look like?
My personal resume? Well, I've
Yeah.
only worked with my uncle.
Oh yeah, can we also get your references for that?
Wait, references? What are you talking?
What do you do as
Yeah.
what did you do as work with your uncle?
Oh, well, I mainly did a lot of like lawn mowing stuff.
Hmm.
So
Oh yeah, I think you've
I guess
mentioned this before.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really. I don't know if you consider it like a real job. I guess I don't really.
I mean, if you're getting paid for doing labor, I think it still qualifies as a job. It would qualify as some form of work experience.
Fair. Yeah, that's about all I have for me.
Now, Griever, I know for a fact you have worked retail. You worked at a grocery store and would occasionally pretend to have a British accent.
Oh, yes, yes. How's everybody doing?
With the accent?
Yeah, no, what I would do is I would switch it up. Sometimes I would do different accents, mostly because my British accent is not bad. So that's the reason I stuck with that one, being a British Canadian. But it was mostly, I actually used to switch. My current wedding ring is from my grandmother. It's like $15-$30 of cheap Walmart silver. But I got it when I was 15, and I used to switch it actually to the wedding ring hand and stuff. And I would make up whole stories and stuff, and people would believe it just to pass the goddamn time, because you'd have a customer come through, right? And if they had like, those people that like when I go to the store, I just buy the on sale items, right, or anything I need. There are people that go there like it's a Costco trip, and they fill a goddamn cart. We're talking 211 things.
Saw a person like that one time. I've described this like twice. I was gonna make salmon for dinner, so I stopped at Publix on my way home from work, and I went to the express lane because I just had like the salmon and like 2 other things or something. There's this lady in front of me in the express lane, where you're supposed to have like 10 items or less.
Mm-hmm.
The entire fucking conveyor belt was filled with her stuff. She ended up paying for her stuff with $100 bills.
What the
Wow.
hell? Like, I can understand that in a place like where I live, right? Because we only have one supermarket for the entire town.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you need to drive elsewhere to go to bigger shops. It's like, of course, you'll see old people buying stuff from a corner store for their entire week. But in a place like fucking Florida, where you've got supermarkets around every corner, like...
We have three? Wait,
Three?
hold on. I need to think of how many of these are actually in my town. I think we have 4 Publixes in my town.
And how many, like, other supermarkets
Oh, those
that
are the only ones. Publix has a monopoly on the suburbs. When you go to the poorer or areas where people just don't fucking live, you get Walmarts, you get Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie's just literally poor people Publix. There was a person that started working at my store like a month ago, who actually just left the other day because they got recruited into the military. They worked at Winn-Dixie when they started there, and they quit last week. The way they described working at Winn-Dixie sounds fucking atrocious. Like, it sounds like the customer base is just so fucking bad. He said there was a guy, some like poor or homeless guy, that came in and just actually shit on the floor one time and did not get banned from the store.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
There was also another instance in which some woman was paying for her groceries and, you know, bought quite a few things, and he's pretty sure the lady worked as a stripper because when she paid for her stuff, she pulled out like these, you know, when you get like those little, it's not big enough to be a purse, it's basically just a wallet with a fucking like shoulder strap on it or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
She pulls one of these out, and she pulls out like $250 in $1 bills.
Yeah.
He
See,
spent
here's
like fucking 10 minutes counting it.
Now, to be fair to that,
Oh
the
my
funny thing is that in Canada, as you know, we haven't had a $1 or $2 bill for decades. So we have what's called the loonie and the toonie. Now, I've paid for a whole case of beer with toonies because and nobody finds that strange because no one's going to throw away a toonie. People are going to use them. It's $2 in your pocket and it's just a coin. So, you know, you stack up your rack of coins. 5 coins is $10. You grab them off your nightstand, you go to the store, you pay for $15, $20 worth of whatever, right? With your toonies, rather than swiping a card or doing this or doing that, right? It all adds up. Every time you use a $5 or $10 bill, you know, you get a toonie and a quarter and a couple of things back, and you just rack up. You're not exactly nickel and diming, but you do rack up the toonies. Granted, $1 bills for a $250 order is a little, yeah, that's a little.
So, things like with Canada, don't you always round to like 95 as opposed to 1.99 like everywhere else does?
Well, I don't know,
Well,
because at my
no,
store,
we-
most of the shit was up to like something 95.
Well, what we do is we round. All right, so we eliminated our penny about like a 1
Whoa.
cent about 7-8 years ago, and as a result, if your order comes to like 93 cents, it's 95 cents. If it comes to 92 cents, it's 90 cents, right? So that's
I see.
they round off the pennies depending on if it's higher or lower to the nearest 5.
Yeah, that sounds
So-
really convenient.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
very,
okay,
it's actually, it's super convenient. Now, granted, if you pay with a card, it's the exact amount. So if it's 93 cents,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
10.93, it's 10.93. But if you pay with cash, you can get away with you're basically giving up, like if you pay the nickel, you're giving up that 2 cents technically. So, you always try to if you got Scottish blood in your veins, then you're like,
Like
know.
for me, just cause like carrying pennies around is so inconvenient, I've just resorted to always paying digitally.
Oh yeah,
for,
I
like,
don't
everything.
carry coin chain. I have several stacks of coins here on my fucking headboard. I've got like 4. They're like the little rock pillars that you find when you go out in the fucking woods sometimes, where people stack up a bunch of rocks on top of each other.
Right?
I have this conveniently next to a bunch of rocks and seashells.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, at the end of the day, it all depends on your lifestyle too. Like, for example, let's say that I had not a typical week. Let's say I had an atypical 2 weeks where I took the cans back, right? Because we get 5 cents, we were refundables, right? So cans, bottles, etc. You get 5 cents per back, right?
Ooh.
So that's paid to you in cash, and then let's say the company at the same, it's just all, let's say the stars align. Then the company, which we collect copper all year, being electricians, copper's worth money. Well, the metal place pays you in cash as well, and then you divvy it up between the employees. And then let's say I do a cash job on the side for someone. Well, they're going to pay me in cash. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there with a bunch of cash in my wallet. I don't mind being paid for it, but at the end of the day, now you're sitting with that cash and you've got to use it up. And once again, if I break a 50 for a $30 order, It's never going to be an even, okay, you get a $20 bill back. It's going to be $19.35 and change. So that's 2 toonies, a loonie. That's
Yeah,
a
but
quarters,
at
you know.
least
And so
for
it all stacks up.
you, right? You're not running around with those like 1 or 2 penny coins.
No, no,
Speaking
not
of,
at all.
Dylan says,
What-
for a fun fact, Maine still has a system of commerce for $2 bills. If you overpay $2 back on your purchase, they'll hand you a $2 bill. Is this the only state that still fucking prints $2 bills? Is this where they all come from? When I was going into the register the other day, I think this was on my last day, someone handed me like a fucking 100. So I go to like the bottom of the little tray where we keep the 50s and 100s, because we keep the 100s at the bottoms, and I see a fucking $2 bill in there, because I guess someone had no idea where the fuck else to put it.
Yeah. I have an American $2, I have an American $1, I have a Canadian $2 and a Canadian $1 bill. Because I mean they're rare now. It's like I also keep a Canadian penny.
I actually have a $2 bill inside a little leather case for some fucking reason. I don't know, I've just had it forever. I assume it was given to me because it's like, oh, this is neat. Keep a hold on to this, I guess.
If we're still going on about the retail thing, I'll tell you one thing about retail
I haven't started the official review yet, so please do. We got 18 people in here, but only 9 likes. Let's fucking double that number of likes. If you're in here and you haven't already hit that like button.
Those are rookie numbers. Jack those numbers up. So, just for a little quick story, one of the worst times, because I assume we're not talking about the good benefits. We're talking about the why.
We're gonna take the good and the bad, but the bad retail stories are the funniest, obviously.
Okay, so we're gonna tell the reason why. So I don't know what other stores do this, but I worked for one of the major grocery chains in Canada. Okay, it's called Sobeys, and I worked for the market, what Americans call the market. And what I did was I was one of the fastest. There was about 200 employees, both full-time and part-time, on just front-end cash, right? So cashiers. We have 200 odd employees in our store that were just cashiers, not counting bakery, grocery, etc. So what they would do is they would print out every 3 months. They would print out your items per scan per hour, sort of idea, and they would tell you like who's the fastest, most efficient cashiers. And I was always hovering around number 3. There were 2 girls. There was their names were Jamie and Jen. I can't remember the other one. It was another J, maybe Jenny. Anyways, they were always slightly faster than me and stuff, and it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I was number 3. So what they do generally with the people that are extremely fast is then they start to try to push you towards doing the customer service desk. So you do the lottery tickets, you do the complaints, you do this, you do that, but you also you do the returns and all that stuff because you're clearly good at your job, right? And that's how they would determine who they would have eligible. If someone can scan groceries at 200 miles a minute, then it's like, all right, this person knows how to work the computer, how to work the system quite easily, clearly, you know. So that's how they would do it. And I lasted all of 4 hours on my first customer service shift, and they never asked me to do it ever again. I didn't get fired, but they said no, I think we're good, because there was a woman who came in. She bought all this chicken, and I'm talking about $180 worth of chicken. Okay,
like chicken. Okay, so chicken parts. All right.
Yeah, raw chicken breast.
That's a lot of fucking chicken.
Yeah. She bought like, because it wasn't on sale.
I imagine she was doing some kind of, it was for a holiday or some shit or some special occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been. Like, once again, like we see convenience store owners come in all the time. They'll fill up their cart with the 2-liter Pepsis and stuff when they're on for 99 cents or whatever, because then they fill it up at their store and then they charge it from the cooler at $4 a bottle or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get that type of stuff. So that doesn't bother me. What bothered me was, so this woman came in and complained that all the chicken was bad. And I went, well, no, you bought it today. I looked at the chicken myself and said, I'd fucking cook it. There's nothing wrong with this chicken. It's best before expiry date is 3 days from now. You're good. And she goes, well, I want this chicken because what Sobeys does, we're the pleaser. So if you have one problem with one product, we void it off and you get the item for free. We don't take back raw produce or poultry or anything like that. We just give you the item and we give you your
Wow.
money back. So the thing is that what this woman was trying to do was basically
Because it's like
scam us
that, yeah.
and take $180, get her $180 back on unsale chicken,
And then get
and
another
then-
$180 worth of fucking chicken.
and get
for free.
180. Right. So I fucking refused. I said, nah, not doing it. And I said, she goes, well, how dare you? And I said, well, there's nothing wrong with this chicken, ma'am. I said, I will cook this up and it will be the best chicken you've ever eaten. I'll do it right fucking now. I will go over to the deli and start using their frying pans. And she goes, no, you're being rude, blah, blah, blah. I want to speak
I'm
to the
gonna
manager.
talk to your manager.
Yeah, before the Karen meme existed, this is when I was working. So I didn't know the term, but basically it was the manager. And here's where I lost all respect, because the manager basically just said, give her the fucking shit. And I said, no. He goes, what do you mean no? I said, I'm telling you to do it. And I said, no. I said, she's fucking wrong. She's lying through her teeth. She's trying to scam. And this is why the price of food is going up, because of bitches like this. And he goes, all right, you're not working customer service anymore. And I said, clearly not. I said, because I've never had a problem through all my regular Sucash, because there were actually people who liked me so much, like older couples and stuff, they would purposely wait in a longer line to come through me because they liked my attitude and come through me. You know, and I'm a 16, 17-year-old punk or whatever. But they always loved coming through me. My lineup would be, there would actually be open caches. I am not lying. There would be open caches right beside me. There'd be a lineup at mine because people loved me. But the fact of the matter is, this bitch, and I was not having it. I said to the manager at the time, I said, Jeff, I said, listen, I said, you got your rules and I understand. I said, but I am not doing this. I cannot in good conscience give this woman $180. I would rather fucking punch you in the face right now. Like, there is no fucking way I'm doing it. And he goes, okay, I'm going to put Jamie on here and send it. I said, fine, Dandy. I said, and I just walked right the fuck away. And apparently he gave up. He did give her the money or whatever, but I refused to do it. I said, you're not using my login to do it. You will never see a record of my employee number giving away $180 to a fucking loser. Fuck that. And a scammer. And so that was my first and last day at doing customer service. And I worked for this company for 3 years, and this was only my first year in. I worked for them for another 2.5 years. And, you know, and there was other problems, but that's the one story I remember going, I don't want to be here for the rest of my life. Because some people work their way up and become the manager stuff, and that's good pay. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
like they have that at public. I don't know if you get it when you start, but I'm pretty sure after a certain point you basically get some stock in the company. And I mean,
Ooh.
there
A lot of them do that.
are
And if you
people
buy into
there
the stock,
that have
yeah.
worked there for like fucking 10, 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these, and that's the same here. I don't think we get, or some of them don't get stock. You still have to buy into the stock, but you can also, when you get so high up in the company, you can push some of your, they'll match RSP investments. They'll do this, they'll do that. Basically, it is beneficial. There's a lot of benefits for working for the big, like the Walmarts and that kind of deal. Because if you go high enough, you reap the rewards. But I wasn't willing to play ball like that, so I went, yeah, I got to do something else. So,
And now you're an electrician.
and now I'm like,
then
well,
you
that
went
was
to
because-
trade school.
No, actually, here's
Oh,
what
you
happened.
didn't go to trade school. Never mind.
I did go to trade school. I did,
Well,
but
never mind again.
yeah, but what actually happened there, just really quick, is that my father the week after Christmas, it was like January 3rd or 4th. He kicked me out of bed one morning because I was only working like 4 shifts. And I was like 19 years old, and he goes, get up, you're coming to work. And I said, you coming to work? He goes, yep, with me. And because one of his guys was doing the whole going out west, doing like the industrial stuff and coming back, like making his buck over there, then coming back home, making his buck sort of idea. So he was sort of off and on, and there was a lot of work on, I guess, at the time. So he hired me as a laborer and just said, all right, you're coming to work with me, so get out of bed.
Ah, so that's where you are. That's how you got where you are today. I see.
That is exactly my old man
classic,
gave
the
me the
family
boot and said,
business.
get the fuck up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I said, all right. And then I got up, and then after working for him for like 8 months or so. He said, "You're going the fuck to school," and I said, "Okay." And
I
then
feel,
I suppose
you
if
say,
I
I should
still lived
probably,
up
like-
north and they hadn't retired and closed the deli like fucking 10 years ago or something, I probably could have had my first job at my grandparents' deli.
But yeah, Greg, now you mentioned that, like, you got me thinking, maybe it would be good to ask, like, my dad about something like that.
What
Sure,
does
he
your
works in
dad
a
do?
He works in a Citizens Advice Bureau, which is not something I'd be, wanting to work in, but hey, just going there for a bit could, maybe be something to go on my CV.
and remember, it always looks good on a resume.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm gonna update my resume in real time.
Oh, there you go.
Live
mean,
resume restructuring.
Yeah, I mean,
I just gotta update it.
I'll be back.
I think it's personally, I think it's just one of those things where, like, I was sort of fortunate that I like electrical. Like, for example, had somebody else's dad, had your dad, Misc, or whatever, had he come in and kicked you out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, "You're coming to work with me right now. Get dressed." Maybe you would hate what your dad does. Maybe you would hate that job. Thankfully, I really enjoy that job. It's made me a great husband. It's made me a great homeowner because I'm not a fucking moron, So, and being an electrician, and every trade will tell you this. Every trade will say we're the cream of the crop, but at the end of the day, electricians, we are at the top. We are at the top. But the fact of the matter is that you need to know so much about other trades. You learn so much. It's sort of like how nowadays nobody knows how to change a fucking tire, but if you were a mechanic, you know how to do everything to your vehicle. You know what I mean? And even I'm not the best at maintaining my vehicle, but I know enough being an electrician because I work around the ships and the boats and there's electronics in vehicles. So I have to know a little bit about vehicles too. Like, it's one of those cool things that allows you to learn so much that you don't think you need until you need it, until you're like, oh fuck, I want to renovate my fucking kitchen. Well, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. Well, if you're in a trade or you have trade knowledge, you know exactly what the fuck to do. Or you're not scared or intimidated to do so. How's that? That's the way I'm going to put it. Band, you've been pretty silent. What's Band saying?
He's being banned.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
Alright.
But yeah, also, big apologies for the Animal Crossing.
I was going to mention that.
I didn't mean, no, I seriously didn't mean to worry anybody. I didn't.
No, it's fine. I mean, when I was doing the Elden Ring lore playthrough, there was an instant, it was like part 16, where I got like 30 minutes into the stream, and my dad comes home, because he was going to pick up his new truck, and he called out to my sister, was like, "Are you ready to go?" And she was like, "No, I just, like, fucking, either got into or out of the shower." And he was like, "What the fuck? I told you I was gonna be here in a few minutes." So then guess who has to get dragged along to come pick up his truck with him?
You do.
Yeah, so then I'm gone for like another 2 hours, and we don't end up getting the fucking truck anyway because they forgot to attach some fucking thing for the air conditioning. And driving around in a car without air conditioning in Florida is basically a method of suicide.
Yeah,
so it ended up being for fucking nothing anyway.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even get a
I
good
literally-
lunch out of it.
Well, there you go. I mean, what happened with me was, I went to take a leak, and grab something to eat because I realized, like, yeah, I don't mind having a drunk stream, but I'm like, yeah, I'm a little more drunk than I intended. I said, so I'm gonna grab a quick snack. I'm gonna heat something up in the microwave. Like, I'm talking like a cup of Mr. Noodles, something that would be 1 minute. I'd eat. I'd be back in 5 minutes, right?
Right, of course.
So I was heating that up, and all of a sudden I get a knock at the door, and it's my fucking sister-in-law. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So it's this whole thing. Anyways, long story short is that she ends up staying and ranting for like 2 fucking hours. And then, in all honesty, my brother came and got her and stuff, and everything was fine and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the day, I fucking forgot about the stream. I was like, I completely forgot. So I was up there decorating. I was doing garland and
Oh
Christmas
my
lights.
god.
And then I
That's
come
like-
downstairs to check my email, and then I'm looking, like, you can tell because I left the stream up. You can tell I'm looking in the camera, but I'm not, like, noticing that I'm actually
I
online.
did kind of notice, like, when I went to the end of it when you were there, I was looking at you. You looked fucking exhausted, and I'm like, I don't know if he knows the stream's going on right now. Like, he looked
Yeah,
like he
no,
was
I
kind of
did.
looking through his computer.
They're
Yeah,
like,
I turned off my my camera light, and then I noticed that the little circle was still red, and I went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So and then I went and I just ended the whole fucking thing.
I'm glad you noticed because that could have gone a really different route.
That
if
could
you
have been. I mean, I don't know what you do in that
Yeah.
office, but it's good you noticed that you were still streaming.
yeah. Like,
Well,
fucking-
I'll tell you right now. Unfortunately, I have never done anything R-rated in this room.
Nothing
so-
that would violate YouTube
No,
terms of service.
Nothing,
good content.
nothing like that.
Good
no.
Like,
content for a
What?
different platform.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like, we still need the Valentine's Day special with the condoms in the background. Neve's been
Exactly.
asking about it. So
Yeah, like,
But I won't lie. I was actually kind of scared for you, dude.
yeah, and that's why I feel bad because I had totally forgotten. Because see, like, she was downloading like crazy. Like, I'll just tell you really quick. It's not a big deal, but basically, she's not supposed to drink because she's on this depression medication, right?
Oh boy.
Or even, right? So she's not supposed to drink. She also has the N. I don't know how the Americans do it, but basically not a learner's license, but you can't have a beer and drive license, like that intermediate one. Anyways, that's how Canada works. So
So like
my-
she had gotten a DUI before? She's never gotten her
No,
driver's
no, no, no,
license.
no. It's that. See, what happened was because she lost her license because she never renewed it. Okay. And then she didn't drive for about 5 years. She went and got her license back, but they basically treated her as a new driver again. So she had to go through all the same bullshit, like you're a new driver, right? Because it was been too long, right? So they want to reevaluate her, which actually, for safety reasons, makes sense.
It does.
yeah,
So-
it does make sense.
Okay, sure. So what ended up happening was my she works downtown, and then she came home. What happened was she had apparently, like, I don't know what the truth is, and I never probably will. She stopped into the bar or one of these microbreweries and stuff because they're fucking hipsters as hell. My brother and his fucking woman. And they stopped into this microbrewery with colleagues. She claims she didn't drink and drive.
Micro.
My
brewer.
brother, however, the moment she got home and stuff, went, all right, first off, you're an hour late. Second off, I smell the fucking vodka on you. So I know you're full of shit and stuff. So he got absolutely livid so he blew up at her. And then she fucking sort of ran away from home for a little
I'm
while.
looking at a
Was-
microbrewery. Is this literally just a bar where they brew the alcohol?
Yeah, no, microbreweries are craft beer where they make non-commercial beer. So it's
Oh,
not
well,
Budweiser.
that's fucking neat.
Yeah, yeah, there's a million of them here in Halifax. There's a stupid
Oh,
amount
same
of them.
here.
Granted, most of the beer sucks by my
Apparently
taste
in
buds.
Maine, they call those IR licenses. I swear to Christ, Maine sounds more Canada than it does like an American state.
I mean,
Maine
look where-
basically is Canada. It's like Alaska. Go up
look
to
at where
Alaska and
fucking
tell
is,
them they're
man.
not Canadian, and they'll laugh at you.
But yeah, like, I was just saying earlier, Gabriel, like, fucking Thomas Cave, Clover, and I were in VC last night. And I had the tab open, of course, because you got to get your viewership, and I was like, Creeper's been gone for a while, so we're like, you know, a bit concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I did read the chat later on, and I'm actually going to leave it up because it's kind of funny. But
Yeah.
I thought about deleting it before. But I do feel bad because the whole idea was to have a drunken Animal Crossing episode. Because I was drunk. I wasn't loaded, but I was drunk, and I just thought like this would be a lot of fun. And then halfway in, and then because I was drunk, like I had to sober up pretty quickly with dealing with her and hysterics and stuff like
It's
that.
hard
You know,
to talk to a drunk person when you're drunk.
yeah, you know when you have that. Like I remember being fucking loaded one time, and fucking a friend's sister's baby was power puking, and she was freaking out. All of a sudden, you sober up pretty fucking quick when you got to deal with. All right, let's let's deal with the situation, blah blah blah. You end up getting pretty sober. Like I wouldn't drive, but you feel way more sober, and yeah. So it's just one of those sort of the ideas. And then I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot. I thought I had ended the stream. I must have done that. I must have told her at some point, hey, I just got to go. Say, hey guys, something came up. Bye. See you next time. And I never did it. I guess so. Yeah.
I was so, dude, I really thought that, like, because when you started the stream, you sounded really fucking drunk, and well, you were
I
drunk.
don't remember.
Like,
Yeah, were you normal, like, late read-through stream drunk, or were you actually fucking drunk, as you claim to very rarely be?
Oh, I would say I was pretty drunk. See, I had only eaten lunch that day. I hadn't eaten supper yet. So,
Alcohol and no food. Great combination.
yeah. So I had about 1,400 calories of beer and no food for the last like 7 hours by the time I started.
That's great.
So, and also here's the thing: I was also sweating out any of the food because we had dealt with the 3 houses with the Christmas trees, my brother's house, my parents' house, and my house and stuff, right? So we had been doing all that, cutting with the bow saw, drilling the bottom, doing all that shit. So by the time I finally settled down, it sort of hit me like a ton of bricks. And at the time, it sounded funny to me. Let's do a stream, but let's not do a serious stream because I'm just going to make an ass of myself. I said, why not make an ass of myself playing Animal Crossing? That shit's innocent, right?
Yes, of course.
So, and then that's actually all that happened. So, unfortunately, like, once again, I'd love to say that it was something like, oh, I fell asleep or something like that. No, it wasn't. It was just a thing. And at the end of the day, my brother finally came and got. But see, at that point, I had calmed her down, and then he said, "Well, do you have any cold beer?" And so blah blah blah. So we basically sat around and was basically chilling out, watching some Big Bang Theory or something, while the stream's going on. We're doing this just to sort of calm down the two of them, sort of idea. Like, why don't we just watch something funny and on the Comedy Network and fucking, you know, and just like let's all settle down and stuff. Because at the end of the day, I don't know who to believe. My brother says that fucking she was.
Does it really matter? It's not really your life, so
No, but at the end of the day, like, see, that's the thing. Like, does it matter? How involved do you get, and at what point do you pull out? You know what I mean?
But yeah, you mentioned
is it my business to deal with my wife's? If my wife is having a fight with her mother, how far does my level of interference allow as a husband? Am I allowed?
What your wife thinks, I think.
What's that, Navid?
I think that determines what your wife thinks.
Exactly. So, technically speaking, where it's my sister-in-law, sure, but it's also my brother. So, technically speaking, I go on my brother's side and I go, okay, what's your version of the story? And then I'm supposed to go from there, technically speaking, right? So, anyways, like, once again, does it matter what the truth is? No, but I understand. See, the big problem is that, okay, because she has that license, right? If she had a sip, I'm talking the samples you get at the liquor store. She got a sip and she got caught, she loses her fucking license. And my brother, and she works downtown. If she loses her license, she can't drive her car. So that means my brother has to drive her to and from for 3 months. Every single day, plus go to work himself, meaning he's going to be late for work every single day. And you think my father's going to be happy because he's our boss? You think he's going to be fucking happy with that situation because she was drinking and driving? He's going to go, yeah, well, that's coming out of your pay. And so this is all really dangerous from his perspective, where they just bought a house and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So, I mean, they've been there for a year, but still, you know, still learning how to balance the bills and stuff like that. So from his perspective, he's like, how could you be so fucking stupid? You know? And that, granted, she claims she smelled like vodka because her friends were drinking and she was in a brewery. She didn't have any. He claims he smelled it on her breath. So now we're sort of, he said, she said, write a book about it, you know?
Vaguely related to the whole, oh, let's do a stream thing. I was considering doing the stream yesterday when I got home from work. I got home Well, you know, not when I got home, but like before leaving work, I was considering just doing it yesterday night. I got home at like 9:45. I went and I laid down on my bed, and then after I had basically just been laying on my bed on my phone for like half an hour, I was like, I don't think I'm doing a stream tonight. I don't think I've got one in me for today. But here I am now, super medicated.
Yeah.
That I
you
mean
love
that does happen.
medication.
Oh,
Well,
and to answer
It's
to
like
answer
medicated.
Dylan the funny boy, or sorry, Marcus Brown, I believe. Chef school, depending on where you are, but yes, technically chef school is a Red Seal trade.
That, I
So,
mean, it sounds like a trade to me. You're basically working. You're
if you
providing a service for your job.
yes,
But that sounds
if
like a
you
trade
actually
to me.
go to culinary school and write a provincial exam at the end or do your test or whatever, then yes, it's absolutely a trade.
Sounds like a fucking trade to me.
Yeah, like I can teach Misc right now electrical, and he could be a great electrician. Doesn't make him one.
It's gonna
He's
teach
still gotta
me
go through the school.
online without any sort of visuals or without anything to work with on my end. I'll become a great electrician. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister plans on going to trade school. I guess whenever she's fucking done with high school, whenever that will be.
Wait a minute, a trade? What trade?
Something in
Farming stuff,
fucking
right?
like farming and seed, like fucking selling seed or whatever. I don't fucking know.
You have the upper body strength of 3 men.
I mean, she's stronger than me, but I don't know if it's saying much. I'm not very strong.
Granted, neither am I. I'm weak as shit now that I'm in my
So
30s.
I was talking to my mom about this earlier. I'm like, I don't think she has the fucking work ethic to do any sort of farm job regularly. I don't think she has
Farm
the work
working-
ethic to do a fucking trade, and she clearly doesn't have the fucking intelligence to start her own business.
I actually am not. I'm acquaintances, let's say, with a family that owns a farm. I couldn't do it.
You never get vacation days. You live to work when you work any
Yes,
kind of farm
it-
job.
You are up at 4 a.m. You can't smoke or drink because you need to be like unless you want to be puking in your own potato fields. Like you are out there, rain or shine, regardless, every day. There is no 2 weeks vacation when you own a farm. That's not possible. Like it just doesn't exist. Like there's no way. It's 4 a.m. till fucking midnight.
You know,
Like, it's
whenever
not
whenever I feel uncertain about my future and what I've been doing with my life, I just remind myself of what she's doing with like 2 years behind me, and I'm just like, wow, I'm actually doing kind of all right.
Yeah, it's like me. What was it? The other week, last weekend, no, the weekend before. Sorry, I sort of got what's the term? Is hyperbolic the right term? Like
When you're exaggerating?
yeah. So all of a sudden, all this garland that I was trying to put up with the lights on it, stupid Christmas decorating, it wasn't working. The Cowboys were losing. I felt like a loser. And I'm an electrician. I'm like, I can't even figure out how to make fucking mini lights work. Like, Jesus Christ, what kind of fucking loser am I? And I just started going down this rabbit hole of fucking feeling like a piece of shit, right?
Yeah, that's
It
always a
lasted
great time.
only about 3 hours, but it was this big, this is happening and that's happening. It doesn't matter the details, right? But at the end of the day, it was just like every single tiny and anything from the smallest thing all the way to the mountain-sized problems was all hitting me all at once, and it was just like, God damn. When I came out of it, I realized what you just said, Miss. It was like, yeah, I know people in way worse situations right now. I feel pretty good.
Play free.
Like, I still have a roof over my head. I have the blessings,
Play free's done farm work when visiting your roommate's home. They'll probably be fine. First off, what kind of farm are they working on? What size farm? Second, you have not met my sister. You've met me personally. You have not met my sister. She has somehow less work ethic than me. Me, who is complaining about working a normal part-time job for like a month. Okay? I have very little. I have terrible work ethic. I'm lazy as fuck, and she's worse than me because she has no motivation to do anything. She's not gonna work on a fucking farm unless she starts taking some kind of fantastic uppers, some miracle-esque antidepressants or some sort of medication, she's not working on a fucking farm.
You know what, Misc? I gotta say, great on you though for admitting it. You're like, no, I don't have a great
No, I don't
work.
fucking. Look, I was mentioning this to my mom earlier because we went out and got lunch after I got my vaccines earlier today, and I was like, now that I've worked a bit, I fully understand the importance and necessity of having a job, and I can say now with more certainty than ever, I love not having a job and not having fucking anything to do. It's a great feeling.
And see, that's one of the things, because that's what bothers me. Like when I'm not, like, I know everybody makes the jokes and stuff like, Griever's a boomer and shit, and it's like, yeah, a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that it's because when you look at millennials and stuff, that they act like they're working so fucking hard. It's like, no, you're not. Not compared to me, not compared to my parents, not compared to my grandparents. You are not working hard. Sit down, shut the fuck up. And the thing is that you are the anomaly in that you are admitting, like, yeah, I don't want to work. I am not, like, at least you're being honest. Like, that's all I want from the young.
I mean, I haven't worked. I would never fucking work at a Starbucks. I imagine you're talking about like the Starbucks people.
Oh, yeah.
I was
like
at the Starbucks at the mall the other day. I went to go pick up stuff because like my manager ordered like some drinks. I got something. They were so fucking slammed there. I would never work at a fucking Starbucks. Oh
Yeah,
my god,
even
I would
on,
lose
like,
my mind working at a fucking Starbucks or anything resembling that.
Yeah, like the other week, right? Well, I guess it was 2 months ago now. It was a very quiet Tuesday. Went up to the city for the first time in like years, right? Very, very fucking quiet day for a city. Starbucks was still packed. Like, God bless the workers there.
Oh yeah, it's no different here with Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, you do not want to work. Like, there are benefits though, because for some weird reason, I'm just gonna ask: does anybody tip at a Burger King or a McDonald's?
I don't. I mean, I usually go through drive-through, so I'm not given a tip option. I think when I went to the Burger King at the mall, there was a tip option. But I can't remember, because I only went there like twice, and then when I realized the Nathan's, like literally right next to the Burger King, had better burgers for basically the same price, I never fucking went there again.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've noticed, and my brother is constantly complaining about this, he goes, why do we tip at Tim Hortons? We do literally not tip at McDonald's. They still serve coffee at McDonald's, but you tap your card. You do not give them a tip. But at Tim Hortons, for some reason, it's been inbred into Canadians that you tip at Tim Hortons. You don't tip at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, KFC, any of the other joints, but you tip at Tim Hortons. Why? And I'm just like, that's why people want to work at Tim Hortons, because it's still the retail, it's still the fast food industry. It still sucks, but people, especially the morning crowd. One of my former friends worked there when we were like in high school. And when he would skip class to go work like the 7 a.m. shift, which is the one you want to work, right? Everybody going to work. He would get like people giving him $5 tips, like all these, like the lawyers and the doctors and stuff.
$5? How expensive is Tim Hortons coffee?
Same price as everything else, McDonald's, everything else.
I don't know. I don't get coffee, so I don't know what that.
Okay, so it's like sometimes it's about $1 a coffee.
Holy fuck! That's a fucking 500% tip.
Exactly, and he would say, because they split tips, of course, but if they were specific, they'd be like, hey, is Mike there? It's like, yeah, because you would actually talk to people, because the same regulars would come through, no different than a Starbucks, right? Mm-hmm. The regulars come through and then say, hey, Mike, how you doing? Oh, good. Kevin, how you doing? It's like, all right, well, he said, here, pull around. He goes, hey, this one's for you, and give him a toonie, give him a 5, give him a, whatever. And it was just like, and pocket that one's for you. All right,
it's a gift.
Cool.
Oh, there was something I saw a few months ago that I originally was like, what kind of fucking libertarian shit is this? But I realized it was actually very intelligent. Where this guy went to a restaurant and he gave this person like a, I don't remember how big of a tip it was, but he gave him a tip. And he included like a little note where he, who the fuck am I hearing mic feedback from? What the fuck
that's your favorite post, isn't it?
Who the fuck? Oh, I think I'm getting it from Griever now. That's weird. Griever, did you do something with your mic?
Haven't changed a thing. I can lower the volume.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know. It's fine now. That was really weird. I'm getting flashbacks to every time we played D&D with Fi. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. So I don't remember how big the tip was. I think it may have just been like $20, or it may have been more. Where he wrote that he was not giving any money for the tip, but still gave them a like cash tip, and included a little note that's saying this is not a tip, this is a gift, and gifts are not taxable income. Thanks.
No, exactly.
So that took me like 10 minutes to figure out what the actual purpose of that was. Because when I initially saw that, I thought of like every single time ever I have seen someone not give a tip. And I'm like, you fucking people. And then I spent like another 5 minutes.
That's why wait staff are people see. Here's the crux. People say that wait staff is underpaid. That's a misconception. They are not underpaid, because the idea of, if I were to go into the restaurant business, the thing I would go for is to be a waiter or a bartender, because tips is where you make up your money.
Funny,
it's
actually.
tax-free money, and so you still get your shitty paycheck, right? You get your $200 per week or whatever,
right, yeah.
$150 per week. But it's the tips, and if you're good at your job, I know a guy who was a bartender for 3 years. He cleared $1,000 fucking on Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
I
had a
That's
couple coworkers
money.
who had worked as bartenders in the past, and they talked about working happy hour and making like fucking $400 a night. So
Exactly.
Clover currently works at as a hostess at a restaurant. She got a raise recently, but a lot of the people that are telling her like, you should do serving, you should be a server, you get tips and stuff, you make a lot more, and she's like, no. Clover's not built for dealing with customers.
I mean, yeah, because you're gonna get the shitty customers, but think about the ones that you're gonna get. Like for example, me, when I was working front end, right? Like I was talking about, I was mostly a cashier, but sometimes I'd be the cart guy. The thing about being, because I was a guy, I don't know, it was sexist back then or whatever you want to call it. But so they would pull you off if there were too many carts. So they pulled me off cash and I'd do carts. The thing is, we also had what's called parcel pickup. So for the old ladies and stuff that couldn't, carry their groceries or whatever, you would literally take their cart and pack the groceries into their car for them. And they would tip you. Technically speaking, you weren't allowed to accept tips in the store, but this isn't in the store. This is in the parking lot.
Right.
So you take the tips. So a lot of people were craving to do the parcel pickup because the old ladies would be like, oh, here you go, dearie, and it'd be a $5 or $2 or whatever. But if you were doing that for 8 hours, you're clearing yourself, $50, $60, even if you only get half a dozen customers.
Let's see. Dylan says, my first ever job was a waiter for Olive Garden, and I was underpaid as shit. Please divulge more information. Did people give you terrible tips? I understand waiters make like fucking $3 an hour, which I still think, even if you make tips, is fucking insane.
Yeah. Well, that's also America when you consider.
Oh, I don't know what Canada does for fucking servers.
See, Canada, we have a minimum wage. Like, nobody can be underpaid unless you're working.
So
claim it.
We have a minimum wage here, but the minimum wage is different for servers because of tips. So instead of with waiters,
they don't account that here. So if the minimum wage is like right here, I think it's $15 an hour right now, which is
how does your minimum wage stack up to your living wage?
Pardon? You mean me or Griever?
Your living wage. Griever.
Oh, I'll answer that for you after Griever.
$15 an hour. So you make $15 an hour as a minimum wage job. Now, unless you're working under the table, which you will be paid less, and then see, that's what I don't like. People complain about that, but it's untaxed money. So yeah, I'm working for $9 an hour, but it's a straight $9. I'm not paying tax on it. That's different, right? So
hey, Wave, he's about to blow out our eardrums with his mic. How are you?
Oh shit, I joined.
Oh wait, you have a new mic. What the fuck? Did you not mean to join?
Oh hell yeah.
No, I didn't.
Well, you can
Hi.
leave if you if you didn't need to join. You can leave.
Wait,
I was in-
stay.
I was in fact going to comment that I'm a trolley pusher and cleaner at my work, and even when you don't, when your job is not dealing with people, you still have to deal with people, and some people are just annoying. And I don't make much, but I'm looking for another job, but I'm gonna stick it out until I, get paid and get a new job. 'Cause I
Good
ain't
luck with
leaving
that.
until I have something good.
I can't find a fucking quick answer on what the living wage here is.
Yeah, because I think it's also state to state, Misc, and like
I think that this is an average base. I imagine the living wage in some shithole like West Virginia is a lot lower.
because legally,
Probably.
even though small claims court is a joke, you legally wouldn't be able to pay someone because if you sign the paperwork that agrees to under minimum wage, you are agreeing to it. So that's why I don't have sympathy for when
my
waiters are like, I'm only being paid $11 an hour. I'm like, well, you
fucking
signed it.
God! Oh
know?
my
What
fucking
is it?
God! It's even worse than I thought. Holy
What is it?
shit!
Oh,
So,
what is it?
first off, I'm gonna give you guys some numbers here. The living wage for the United States, according to the living wage calculator, is
Per month, right?
I believe the hourly wage. So I'm just gonna tell you like what you should get paid an hour to make a living wage. As of the end of last year, I think, is $24.16 an hour, or basically like $100,500 a year
Nice. That's
for a singular person. Our federal minimum wage, which has not been updated in like 14 years, is $7.25 an hour.
Holy shit.
And that's why you have poverty.
The minimum wage for servers and other tipped employees is $2.13 an hour.
Holy shit!
So, the presumption with servers is, oh, you're going to make most of your money off tips, so we can pay you a slave wage.
Right.
As opposed to where you live, Griever, where it's you get like a whatever minimum wage, and then you make a lot of
there's
tips.
a federal, see, it's across the country, see, because we do have provincial laws, but generally speaking, they're the minor things. There's our federal laws, what's the word I'm looking for? Overcompensate, whatever. That's not the word, but they are not ignored, sort of idea. There's provincial laws, but then there's federal laws, and the federal laws are the serious ones, and they're across the country, and they can't be denied. So, but that being said, I'm not saying that people do not work for under the minimum wage in this country. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, certain people, but at the end of the day, if I go to the local restaurant and they say, hey, you want a job here? Sure, we're going to pay $11.50 an hour. If I sign on the dotted line and agree to $11.50 an hour, why am I bitching? I can say, well, no, that's below minimum wage. I'll go work at McDonald's. They'll say, fine, all right, cool. Because it's up to a business to decide. Like my father runs his own business, and he decides what he pays me. It's up to him. I can leave. I can fucking just leave. I can say, no, I quit. I'm going to work for a different electrical company. He pays me what he decides I'm worth. That's the end of the story. So Canada has that little bit of freedom where small business owners and like mom and pop shops and stuff, they can decide to go above, below, they can pay you whatever they want. But it's your job as the employee or the person looking for the work to sign that piece of paper. And if you sign it, I don't want to hear you bitching. At least that's my take.
$2.13 an hour. No, we don't need. I do not need to be class conscious at this time, and you guys don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need me talking about class issues at this time of night, especially when I'm about to go take a fucking ibuprofen.
It's 12 in the afternoon here.
It's
so-
9:15 at night, and I'm
And for me,
medicated. Yeah.
it's 2:15.
Well, the thing about
3 a.m.
as you said, like class things is that I always love. It's like finally got up to the working class. Now I'm in the lower class again. Yay!
Yeah, we don't have a middle class anymore. It doesn't fucking exist.
No, we really don't. We have the rich and we have the surviving, and then we have the fucking destitute.
This is a sustainable system. See? It's the
Hooray.
greatest economic system in human history. It'll last forever. This
Well,
is
technically,
definitely
guys,
sustainable.
feudalism.
Like, I make 25. I make 28.50 an hour, which is low for an electrician. Most electricians make about $33 an hour. They have to join the union, so fuck
Yeah,
that.
that's a big. The big draw of working a trade is you usually make quite a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to be a fucking scumbag, so I don't work for them. But so I make 28.50 an hour. Dad wishes he could pay us all more, but the small companies, we got to get the work where we can, and we can't go into the red, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, 28.50 though should be plenty to live off of.
Most people in this country would literally kill another human being to make that much money an hour.
Yeah, and meanwhile, because of gas and food prices and the price of electricity and all that shit,
Actually,
I'm in the red. I'm
let me
almost living.
see.
5 years ago, I was
Canadian to
gold.
USD. I need to see
Now
because I
I'm
know
living paycheck to paycheck.
the Canadian dollar is worth. Oh my God, that's still like fucking $20 an hour, and people would literally kill to make that much.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, somehow I'm still poor. I wasn't poor 5 years ago.
Well,
At 28.50.
inflation.
I'm now poor because you know why? Because the cost of food, oil, and everything, and gas has gone up so much. It's gone up like 250%. So, but my wage hasn't gone up because
Exactly.
nobody can afford to give you a raise.
Inflation, as far as I can tell, is fucking made up. It's bullshit that companies make up just to make more money, and then they don't pay people more, and then
Right.
various social policies are blamed for it. When it's literally just you look at fucking gas prices. The price of oil has remained relatively consistent. Yeah, it went up when the war in Ukraine started, but then it went back down to normal. It may have even gone lower because of like all the fucking reserves they opened up and stuff. And even then, the fucking price of gas around here is still barely dropped beneath like $3 a gallon because the companies are just fucking greedy.
Oh yeah, they're lying to you because they said like I remember right before COVID, okay? I paid, and this was the cheapest oil was, and I paid $350 to fill my oil tank, okay,
Mhm.
outside my house. That's about 14 months worth of oil for me.
Right.
I just paid for half a tank. It was $600, and their idea is it's Ukraine's because there's a war in Ukraine. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Why should I be paying double for half the oil 2 years later? Shut up.
You know, when
That's
this shit happened in fucking Colombia earlier this year, basically half of the country just went and protested outside of the Capitol. I think they lit the Congress on fire. I don't remember if that was specifically related, but you know, here in North
thought that was
America,
in,
we have
Sri Lanka, no?
we have no concept of class consciousness or class solidarity, because as someone coined the phrase, many working class people view themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires,
Mm-hmm.
where, literally any financial problems that I have are just because of my own personal failings. There are no systemic issues.
Ah. I see.
Thanks, Reagan.
Right.
By the
Yeah.
way, guys, I know everyone loves Reagan, but if you have a problem with current American society, you can probably trace it back to Reagan. You can probably blame that guy for it.
Yeah.
He solved problems in the short term, like that fucking recession they had at the end of the 70s, and instead replaced them with long-term issues. The guy's
I'm-
definitely in hell if there is one. Like, along with most U.S. presidents, but definitely Reagan. Anyway, I'm going to go take an ibuprofen and get my water, and then I'm actually going to talk about my job. So I'll be
Have
back in
fun.
just a minute.
Looking forward.
Okay.
We need the Jeopardy song right now.
No, we don't. That'll get us flagged and copyrighted. And Misc would not be too happy about that.
Yeah, but I can hum it. Do 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 do.
Oh, yeah, sure. Are you sure about that, though? Because people have been fucking flagged for that sort of thing before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably Misc has already been flagged and has now already lost his monetization.
You know that he was
Oh,
making much from the stream anyways.
So bad. This is absolutely so fucking sad.
Yeah, going on like the work topic, like I applied to like 2 places about a month ago now, I think. Fucking neither responded. And since it's a harsher winter, right? It's probably not a good idea to apply anywhere. Cause the only places I'd applied
Oh,
for
God,
like
I wish it was winter right now.
a town over. And of course, since it's a harsher winter, going a town over by bus isn't reliable. So like, who's gonna employ me?
Right.
But I want money for so like when I eventually go to like fucking college, I can survive and not have to feed off fucking street rations.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's like it's sort of like me. Like I'm making it was good money 5 years ago, and now it's not anymore. Now I'm in the poor box, and it's just like, well, what? Like I was literally looking at the TikToks that are like, hey, Netflix will pay you to watch TV. It sounds good to me, you know.
Mhm.
Like I'm literally looking for anything I can. I put out feelers to everyone saying, who needs a shed wired up? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be $55 an hour. That's cheaper than any company. That's facts because our company charges like 70, and the big companies charge 120 an hour. So I know for a fact 55 is the deal of the century.
Mm. Yeah, that's a decent amount off. You should definitely be. I mean, how's good your advertising? Because that might be it.
Hmm. Maybe I gotta start that OnlyFans and start selling feet pictures.
No. I mean, it's in like
I mean,
fuck.
definitely somebody will pay for that.
You know,
someone will.
that's a sad thing. I think someone will. My wife joked about it with her friend, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you're not showing your tits or whatever. I said, fucking in your face, go at it. I said, sell your feet pictures. I don't give a fuck.
What
If
the
that's what
fuck did
my-
I just come back to?
We're talking about advertising and whatnot, kinda.
Hmm.
For
Yeah.
grievous
Yeah,
fun.
and
making money off of advertising.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely a strategy. I got a question I forgot to ask earlier. I realized as I sat down and there was fucking water dripping onto my back. I don't really dry my hair much after I get out of the shower. I just kind of like wipe my head off with the shower, or not with the shower, with the fucking towel, and then I just leave. So I don't. Who here does not really dry their hair? Is that
I
just a
don't.
me thing? Okay.
Me?
That sounds like a
I
you
guess
thing.
it's me.
hair dryer. What do
I
put
do
that?
it.
I don't have a hair dryer. I mean, my hair is getting kind of long. Clover likes when my hair is longer, so I have not gotten a haircut. And I'm too lazy to go get one anyway. And I think I look better with longer hair anyway, so. But yeah, I don't really do that.
This is the truth. Al.
Guy called Synthetic Man who made a video talking about how much he hates God of War Ragnarok compares the war between the Dark Elves and the Light Elves to the war in Ukraine. Did he think it was meant to be like some kind of fucking, I don't know, symbolism for that? Did he think that a game that's been in development for like 4 years just added a thing because of something that happened 10 months ago? Or what was the depth of the comparison, Mado? Anyway. My retail experience. So, for starters, I gotta preface some things. 1. I worked at the mall.
Oh dear.
2.
Hopefully in a quieter part.
It was not a department. It was an outlet. So it was a small retail store. Which means not really as much shit to worry about, and generally nowhere near as many people coming through.
Ah, good.
Third thing, I'm now medicated. That's not the third thing, but I'm now medicated, just to explain any behavioral things that happen in the next hour or so.
Be
Most
careful,
of
mister,
our
might get
customer
cancelled.
base, due to where our mall is, or, you know, the customer base for the mall, consists of tourists.
Right?
Oh, yay.
Now, we generally get two types of tourists. Tourists from South America and tourists from Europe.
Oh, Europeans. I say, as a European, don't take it wrong.
Now, generally
You're
speaking,
European, you're fine.
it was fine. When I was looking for my job, by the way, I was recommended to work there by Danny, who worked there over the summer, and recommended I apply there because the place is it's a somewhat ethical clothing company. You know, they try to do like sustainable clothing. A lot of the shit's made out of like recycled materials. The cotton's organic or whatever, so you know it's better for the environment. So you know it's a more ethical place to work for than most, and it's a smaller place, so it doesn't really get that busy. So you know, when looking for my first job, me being me, my criteria was it being as bearable as possible. Generally, it was not very stressful. It was just kind of boring. Because what you would do, pretty much, is most of your shift, you would just kind of walk around the store, and make sure things are organized, fold clothes and put them back, ask customers if they need help with anything, and then ring people up at the cash register. That was pretty much all I did for like
That
6
sounds
hour
like something
shifts.
I would blow my brains out doing.
Yeah, so I could tell my sister does not have the disposition to work that job. She would fucking die of boredom within 30 minutes of being there, and if she encountered a single rude customer, which I very rarely encountered, she would probably go fucking postal. Another thing, I didn't really deal with that many rude customers, but what you would deal with instead of rude customers is inconsiderate customers. What do I mean by this? Well, in the store we have these lovely displays, generally for hoodies, because we sell a lot of hoodies, and some t-shirts. And what these fucking people would do is they come into the store and they
these
grab one of the
motherfuckers.
hoodies or the t-shirts and they unfold it to either see how big it is or to look at the design. I understand when they take one and unfold it to look at the design on it. Because, you know, when it's folded up, you can't really see what it looks like, but even then we fold them in such a way so that the logos and shit are visible right along the front. So that I get. And then they just kind of fucking throw it back on top of the display, so then one of us has to come along and fix it. But then what they do is they just do that for, like, the rest of the stack. So they just go
Why?
around and they fuck up the entire display. And sometimes they do that and then don't buy anything.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It's okay. There was one time where this happened with me, where this like Chinese family of 4. It was like 2 adults and then 2 elderly people. So clearly, one of them, it's their parents who they fucking hate. They're going around the store. They were in there for like an hour. They were looking around at shit. The old lady asked me a few times about the final prices for things and if there were any more discounts on this shit that did not have sale signs above it or clearly displayed some kind of fucking discount on the tag because they can't fucking read. And because they're from Canada, and I guess shit in Canada is more expensive than it is here. I don't know. So they
We're
walk
not
around.
shitting on Canadians now, are we?
No, of course not. Even though
thought
this
they
has
were
happened to me
Chinese.
multiple times, and it's always, for some reason, Chinese Canadians. I don't know.
There are a lot of those actually.
They come through. They make like 3 separate purchases. I think in total the group spent like $700, which is pretty fucking good for like an opening shift when we usually don't make that much. And then I'm like, great, that went pretty well. And then I walk around the store and like all the displays are fucked. They're just
Oh.
fucking ruined.
Wow.
I was not there for Black Friday, so I can't describe the Black Friday experience to you, because, you know, I intentionally avoided it. But my coworker described to me the worst parts of the day were that it was so busy that it felt like time was not passing. There's a weird sort of equilibrium you want to strike when working retail, where if no one comes into the store, and it's like my store and you can't go on your fucking phone or anything, generally, it's dreadfully fucking boring. Like, 2 out of my 3 last shifts were mind-numbingly boring. There was barely anyone coming into the store. I kept going into the blind spots where the camera can't see you and checking my phone like every 5 minutes. It was fucking insane. So when it gets like a little bit busy, time goes by a lot faster. But apparently on Black Friday, it got so busy that it just felt like time wasn't passing. It looped around to time taking forever to pass from how busy it was. The other
that's
thing that
a few
happened
times.
was at some point in the morning, there was, I think, an Indian family that came in. And as one of my managers told me within like my 2nd week of working there, watch out for the Indian customers, because they're the ones that always fuck up the displays. By the way, working retail at a place that has a lot of tourists is probably going to turn you into some kind of ethno-nationalist. They fuck everything up. So this family comes through, and they spend like several $100s on like a couple hoodies. Nah, it had to have been a bit more, because whatever. And then they go look at the display, and like literally the whole fucking bookshelf is just destroyed. All of the hoodies are fucked up. All of them. And when I say a bookshelf, I mean there's like 100 fucking hoodies on this display. There was like a dozen different styles, and they were all fucked up. So they had to fix the entire display.
And see, that's just not right. Like that's a bunch of people taking advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I mildly appreciate the customers who unfold some shit, can't figure out how to refold it, and then are like, oh, I'm sorry, and then I'm like, I'm sure you are, and then I just take it as like, whatever. They're mildly considerate. But then you have these fucking people. These fucking tourists that just come along, they fuck everything up because it's not theirs, and then they just leave.
Yeah. That's and that's the big thing. Like, I'll admit that I'm one of the people. I don't know how to fold clothes. I never worked at Forever 21 or Walmart. So if I go to Walmart and I'm looking for a certain pair of jeans and I hold it up and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is way too long. I fold it in a square, you know. I do my fold, and I put it back. It's not folded like you guys will do it, but it's still folded on top of the thing. I'm not gonna like just throw the whole thing, but I know it's wrong, and now it's probably out of sync with all the other 30 by 32s and 28s.
Yeah,
by
so then
34s.
someone like me has to come along and I go and refold it and then put it back.
Exactly, but at the very least, it's not sitting on the floor completely, you know.
Oh, fuck. The ones that drive me absolutely insane, we got a bunch of yesterday. So yesterday, naturally, my last shift is the busiest one I had in my last 2 weeks. These motherfuckers were looking at the hoodies. So they unfolded a bunch of them. Sometimes these people, they take a bunch of shit and they walk around the store with it, and at some point they decide they don't want it, so they just fucking leave it someplace, just wherever they're standing. They just fucking leave it there. So, I'm walking by the display where we keep our, like, plain t-shirts. And there's, like, 3 fucking hoodies just splayed out on top of them, just fucking tossed on top of it. That happened, like, half a dozen times. People just kept doing that. I also noticed it was always the same fucking shit that people were unfolding and leaving around places. It was really annoying.
God, it's hot.
Actually,
I need to put the aircon on.
I have a quick question actually for you.
Oh
Miss.
yeah, I encourage you to ask questions, so I...
Is there... You guys clearly have inventory, right?
Yeah, we have, So the whole back of the store is where we keep all this shit we haven't put out on the floor yet, and we have these little scanners to see what we have available in stock, and to sometimes see
Sure.
what stuff's in the back.
I was just curious because here's actually something that my wife, when she worked at Forever 21, and my brother, who worked in the seafood department at the same store I worked at, noticed is that these are sort of tricks. Did you ever encounter the fact that 1 or 2 of the sweaters was missing or unaccounted for? Because a lot of the time, from what I understand, and my wife was in LA working at Forever 21, right? Is that people would disturb the pile so bad, and then another group would come in and disturb it even more, and then by around 3-4 p.m. someone would just come and sort of bag it, so it looked like, oh well, we're not actually going to look that hard. It looked, and you know what I'm saying? Because the display is in such a mess that nobody can count for one sweater.
I don't think it would be the... I don't think there were any organized shoplifting operations like that. So, I don't think I was ever there when anyone stole something, but from what I heard, it was usually people taking stuff off of the front display. Like, we have a big display that's, like, right in front of the entrance. You fucking walk into the store and you have to go around it. So it's, like, all the shit that we're showing off to the customers. It's our very nice hoodies and shit. And we used to have, like, a bunch of t-shirts out there several months ago, and apparently what happened, like, a day I wasn't there, is some guys came by, made sure no one was looking, because the back of the display obscures your view from the cash register, so when someone's, like, standing behind there, you can't really see what they're doing. So apparently these guys came along when none of the people on the floor were really looking over there, and they just grabbed an entire stack of t-shirts, put it in their bag, and left.
Yeah.
And that was when we started putting sensors on all of the shit that we put out front, including our graphic tees.
Which, once again, fair enough. I'm just saying that in general, like, a lot of the times, like, here's a trick that, just for everyone in the chat and everyone talking right now, if you go to a grocery store and you go to the meat bunkers, right, or the market, whatever, and you go to the fish and the meat counter, where the chicken, the beef, the pork, everything is, and you see things turned over or flipped over, flip them back over, because that's the common trick of sleazy people. What they do is you have one person come in a couple hours before, and they'll look at the most expensive thing, the prime rib, the chicken, all that, whatever's the most expensive, the pork tenderloin. They'll flip 3 or 4 packages over, and then the next person, the one who's actually going to steal it, comes in later, a different person, and doesn't even need to look, so they can quickly just grab and not even look. They just grab and look, so that way they're boom, boom, gone. It's a little trick to add speed to the theft, rather than like, oh, what did I steal? Oh, beef stew. It's only worth $4. I'm gonna get caught for this. No. You want to steal the prime rib, right? So that's what they do. And in the same sense, as I said before, with the clothing thing, as you said, Miss, sometimes there's different operations, but I'm just curious, like, they were messing up the displays so much that I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't think we had anything like that. Also, hello, Fi. I know you're watching this right now. Yeah, I don't think we ever had anything that like that. I don't think anyone stole shit when I was there. Thus, I don't care.
Well, I mean, listen. if someone's stealing because they need like a sweater because it's winter and they're fucking poor, and I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
People aren't stealing identical stacks of like $30
No.
t-shirts because they
Exactly.
need them.
Exactly. That's they're selling that shit on
Hey,
eBay.
Bob.
Yeah, hey Bob.
Hey,
Let's see.
now doing the insane thing.
Huh? What insane thing?
The baby challenge in Stanley Parable.
Ah, you're doing that
Oh,
thing
have
Playfree
fun.
did. Oh, good luck with that. Stanley Parable really does sound like an incredibly self-aware game. Would you like this
That's fucking
achievement?
great.
Sure, just hit these buttons for 4 hours. It's like anytime you play a game and you think, I wonder if I'll get anything for doing this stupid shit for a really long amount of time, Stanley Parable is just like, yeah, you will get an achievement for that. Such as not playing the game for 5 years or something. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I didn't really have much in the way of rude customers. I only ever had like a couple people that I thought were kind of shitty. The only ones that really stand out was this British couple. It sounded very British. They were buying like $700 worth of stuff. They had like an actual mountain's worth of shit that I was scanning for them. And the wife was like, oh, can you just put this into this backpack here that she hadn't fucking bought yet? And the way the mall works is we have a lot of tourists that walk into the mall and they stop by the suitcase store and they buy a suitcase and then they just walk through the mall and buy shit and fill up the suitcase. And when it comes to that stuff, it seems like our general policy is no, you cannot put any of the shit into the suitcase until you have finished paying for it. So with her, I was like, you gotta like wait until you're done like paying for this before I put it into like something that's not one of these bags. And she was like, oh, I'll just buy it now. I'm like, I already started the fucking transaction. Like, I've already started scanning your shit. So like, you just gotta wait a bit. And she was like, oh, do you see how many bags I have over there? They had like a whole fucking trolley for pushing around their bags and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, we just can't let you do that. And she was just like, oh, I can't believe she stepped back, put her hand over her face, and like whispered, I can't believe you said that to me.
At least she didn't call you a pig.
And then her husband, who was talking to her, was just like, oh, it probably went over his head. I'm like, are you calling me fucking stupid?
Sounds like it.
And then my manager was right there helping someone else out, so then she started helping me out with like bagging all of the stuff after the fact, and they just seemed to be in like a generally bad mood after the fact. So after they were gone, my manager was like, yeah, when it comes to people like that, when they're buying a bunch of stuff, we just give them their shit and smile and wave so they leave. Like, I'm not gonna fucking let people talk that way to my staff. So that was nice.
Fact.
And then the only other experience that I can particularly think of was like my first day back after Thanksgiving vacation, in which this dude bought like a fucking shirt or something. I don't remember. He gave me like $40. I was going to get his change, and me being me, I saw that there was like the fucking 20s were all like messed up and not in order. So I just spent like 5 seconds fixing them, and then was getting the rest of his change. And he asked me like, "Did you just start working here?" And internally, you know, beneath the mask that is my nice customer service face, my fucking eyes narrow malevolently. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, I've been working here for a few months. And he was like, oh. And then I give him like his 20 and something change, and he was like, man, that took forever. And inside my mind, I'm thinking, I want to fucking shoot you. I don't want to fucking be here. Not a line. You're not in a rush. Shut the fuck up. I'm giving you your change. Leave me the fuck alone, please.
Like when interacting with retail people, go up silent, and when I'm done, say, right, thank you.
Yeah, I don't
And I
fucking,
won't on
I
and
don't
off.
fucking interact
I'll
with
be
people at
anything
the
more.
store. I'm buying my shit. I'm not there to make small talk.
Yeah.
If you give someone like enough money to need change and to need like cents and change, don't complain when it takes a while.
I mean, it's not like it was a ton of money, but like, my shift literally just started. I haven't been here in like a fucking week and a half. And I'm like going through. I have to get you like several different bills and shit. Okay, I'm not doing it instantaneously. I'm not back in the fucking zone yet. All right, leave me the fuck alone. So you know, it was, generally speaking, I wasn't that bad working there. But I do maintain my position that retail and service workers should be allowed to either A, roundhouse kick, or B, kill one customer per day without consequence.
Ooh.
I feel like that would be fair. I feel like that would be a pretty decent system. Hello, Soda.
Just to play devil's advocate on that, I think that there are, of course, such thing as bad customers, and there are such thing as bad employees. What I think needs to happen in the retail industry and the fast food industry as a whole, because they're both very heavily customer service based, is there needs to be accountability, and the customer is not always right. That policy is outdated as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the customers are rude and ignorant and straight up fucking Karens and bitches sometimes. So that needs to be accepted, that yes, 80% of the time the customer, they want a Big Mac meal, and if they don't get it, they're going to be frustrated. Understandable. But sometimes the customer is asking for a Frosty at a fucking McDonald's.
Dylan, share what
And you can't give them that. So there's that, and there should be that. There needs to be that little bit of the gray area between the black and white of customer is always right versus, you know what, sometimes why don't we listen to the whole story?
Fi, you've been to my store? Was it while I was working there? I mean, the place is nice enough. It now makes up like half of my fucking wardrobe, because there was one nice benefit, though it took fucking forever to get. So, one of the little perks that they tell you about when you, like, start working there is, oh, after 30 days, corporate gives you a, basically a $150 gift card code to buy stuff for your quote-unquote uniform. Because when you're working there, they don't want you wearing, like, brand shit from other companies. So, you know, you either wear stuff that doesn't have logos, or you buy stuff from the store. And you wear that. That's your uniform. So basically, you get that, and then you're able to apply your employee discount, which is 50% off, so you can basically buy $300 worth of clothes for free.
Ooh, nice.
What happened was, for some reason, there was a bunch of HR shit going on when I started working there, and also it's a multinational corporation, so naturally, they're very bad at managing their bureaucracy. I didn't get my fucking gift card until end of October, early November, and I started working there technically the last day of July. So it was actually more like 3 months until I got my shit. But there was an unintentional bonus, and that the 125 everyone gets for working there for 30 days. But then there's a second one you can get, and I don't remember what the qualification for that one is, but because of how long it took for us to get the first one, they just gave us both of them at the same time. So we basically got a $300 gift card, which we then apply our employee discount to, which means I bought $600 worth of clothes and only had to pay $15 for what went over the $300 on the gift card. So now, like, half of my fucking clothes is of that specific brand. It's mostly a bunch of t-shirts and a lot of sweatpants, because working there made me realize sweatpants are really fucking comfortable.
They are.
You should be allowed to work any
once
job in
again,
sweatpants.
Misc, just so we're clear, like, I'm not a huge pajama pants, sweatpants type of guy, but as my wife and many women have informed me, the gray sweatpants season
I
is
have
is a thing.
noticed from wearing sweatpants that the gray sweatpant thing is a thing.
It is a real thing, and I'm sitting there going, why the gray ones? I don't mind wearing them.
I think it's
Time.
because there's just enough contrast with the gray that you notice it. You don't really notice it with like black sweatpants or other
Yeah,
darker
I
ones.
understand the black, but I would think like any other color. But it's true. Like the medium to light gray sweatpants. White is too much, but
Like
gray.
there's too much contrast with the white, so
There's
you
too
don't
much,
see anything.
The gray holds the shadow, and I mean, if you're packing, it's all
It
right.
really is the male equivalent to like fucking yoga pants.
It is literally the Lululemon pants. It is. That's
So yeah, I got like a fuckload of clothes for free out of it, which was a pretty good deal. But there's a bit of a caveat to the employee discount. So I remember when I got the job and I mentioned to my parents, like, yeah, my employee discount's like 50%. They're like, holy fuck, I thought it would be like 20 or something. No, so there's a really good employee discount. But here's the catch. Since we are the outlet and not the actual department store, we discount all of our items. Everything costs like, I want to say like 2/3 of what the retail price is. So I got a jacket yesterday. It was my last purchase as an employee, so I could apply my employee discount. A new winter jacket, since I'm going to be heading up to Mass this week. And the winter jacket I have now is basically just a vest with fucking sweatshirt sleeves. It's not very good. And the in-store price of the jacket is $100. The retail price is $150, so we reduce it by like a third. But for clearance items and for stuff that you apply the employee discount to, the discount is being taken off of the retail price, not the in-store price. So I'm not getting the jacket for $50. I'm getting the jacket for $75. Comes out to like $80 with tax. So it's less like a 50% discount and more like a 20% discount, which is still pretty good, all things considered. But it's the fine print on the contract. It's still a discount, but it's not as big of a discount as it sounds. Perks of working at a place in the mall: the food court is like a 5-minute walk away. So when I'm too fucking lazy to make something to bring, or I don't have shit to bring from home, because we don't really have like any sandwich making things, we don't have any soup, that means when the manager is cool, you take your 15-minute break, technically, and you walk over to the food court, you get some shit, you bring it back, and then you wait like another 10-15 minutes to take your 30, and then you eat your fucking food with your full break. By the way, 15-minute breaks are bullshit. They're fucking nonsense. The 15-minute break goes by so fast, it is barely a break.
Spending 5 minutes to get somewhere.
That's
then
why you
having
gotta
to-
work your 8-hour shifts to get your half-hour break.
So actually, the deal that we have for breaks was really good, generally speaking. If I'm remembering how it works, if you work more than 4 hours, you get like a 15-minute break, and that's it. Paid 15-minute break.
Right.
I am very confident for the position I applied for, they were only doing part-time applications. So there was no new people being hired that worked full-time. I think the only people that worked full-time are the managers. If you work 5 and up, you get a 30-minute unpaid break. However, we made $11 an hour. So I never gave a shit about taking an unpaid 30 minutes. I'll pay $5.50 to sit down for 30 fucking minutes and eat something without having to rush. If you worked, I think it was either 6 and up or 6.5 and up, you get the 15-minute paid break and the 30-minute unpaid break. If you work more than 8 hours, you get a total of 1 hour unpaid break and 2 15-minute paid breaks, which is a really fucking good deal, all things considered. It also meant that a lot of the time, people that would... So for, I think we were... I don't actually remember the name of our job position. I think we were either called sales associates or retail associates. I think we were retail associates.
That's about right.
For most of the people I knew, with that position that worked 8-hour shifts, which was like literally only one person there ever got 8-hour shifts, they would usually just take like a full hour, kind of around like the latter part of the shift or like halfway through their shift or something. With managers, they would take it like either technically before their shift started so they could just come in an hour later, or they would take it like at the end of their shift so they could just leave an hour early.
Respect.
I've only done that one time, and that was just because we were kind of busy doing shit, and after a certain point my manager was like, why don't you just leave half an hour early? And I was like, okay. Because you have to clock out for the 30-minute breaks, of course, because you're off the clock. You're unpaid for those 30 minutes. I think there was there's a little bit of tomfoolery going on with the management there, because a lot of the times on the schedules, it'll say that people are coming in at like fucking, I don't know, 12:30, but then they actually come in at 1:30. Because I think the way it works is, if I understand correctly, corporate gives the stores a budget for salaries. So people are only allowed to be on the schedule for a certain amount of hours. So that's why when it came to like me, when I initially started, I applied for a part-time position. I was applying there under the impression that I was going to work 20 hours a week. Majority of the time I was there, I was working like 13 hours a week. I would only ever get like 2 days that I was working, and those would be like 6.5 hour shifts. And then you would have some other people that were working like a full 20 and up. I didn't start doing that until November, because we were going into holiday season, so I was starting to work 3 and 4 day weeks. But if I understand correctly, there would be times in which either the manager's hours are not accurate, or someone would be coming in who is not on the schedule. And that's because, technically, the store is only supposed to have people on the schedule for a certain set amount of hours. So they would just have people come in when they're not on the schedule that corporate sees. Or they would, just come in at different times. The difference between the associates and the management staff is that we worked by the hour. So if I showed up to work an hour late, I'm not getting $11 for the hour I wasn't there. But the managers work a salary. So they're getting paid the same no matter what. I've had managers come in like fucking 4 hours late. I don't know if it was because they had personal shit going on, probably. But they come in, they were supposed to come in at like fucking 1:30, they come in at like 5 o'clock. Just kind of a funny thing. Kind of a neat thing, I guess. My coworkers were fine. I didn't really have any long-lasting issues with any of them. I was mildly annoyed by one of the managers a little bit, just because I thought they were being, like, mildly condescending to me. But didn't really have that issue again after the fact. The only annoying thing I found sometimes was when I go in for like my 5 or 6 hour shift. All of my shifts would overlap with some kind of mealtime. So either when I work an opening shift, I'm there until like 2 or 3, And you know me, or especially if I'm eating breakfast at like 7:30 in the morning, I'm gonna be fucking hungry around like 12 to 1. I'm gonna get hungry, so I'm gonna want to take a break and eat. Or I work a close, I come in at like 3 o'clock, and I'm there till 8:30 or 9:30, depending on the day of the week. So around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm gonna get fucking hungry, and I'm gonna want to take my 30 minutes to eat. And it was always mildly annoying whenever either a manager or one of my coworkers was like, really, you're gonna take a 30-minute on your 6-hour shift? Yes, I am. It's $5.50. You're not paying me enough to give a fuck about taking a break. If I was getting paid like $20 an hour, well, I'd probably be a little bit more hesitant about taking an unpaid break. But $5.50 for me to eat a meal, I don't give a shit. I'm taking the fucking break. What else can I think of? I think there was something else related that I can't quite recall. Oh yeah, there was one instance. It was before I went on vacation, in which I was taking my break, and it was for like a, I don't know, 5-hour shift. I think it was an opening shift. And my manager was like, "You taking a 30-minute on your 5-hour break?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then it was either a little bit before I went on break or a little bit after. And my manager was like, "You don't really need this job, do you?" And I was like, no, I guess not. I just thought it was really funny that he asked me that. I just wanted to take my fucking break.
Well, if you're going to like the food court to get
Yeah,
food,
I didn't do that very often. Most of the time I would be bringing food from home.
Okay. Side note, you said for your 8-hour shifts, you would get a whole hour paid break and
The hour is
15-minute breaks?
unpaid. The 30-minute
one
breaks
hour
are
unpaid.
unpaid. You clock out for those.
You would have 2 30-minute breaks.
Yeah, I never worked an 8-hour, though. 8-hour shifts are people that are there either most of the day, or on a Sunday, they basically work the whole day. Because on Sundays, they open up an hour later, and they close an hour earlier. So if you work an 8-hour shift on a Sunday, you're pretty much there the whole day.
But what I wanted to check was, was that like your entire break, or I think I heard you say you also had 2 15-minute breaks as well.
Yeah, 2 15-minute paid breaks, and you're allowed to use those as much as you want. I think that's how the 8-hour and up one works. And you're able to choose, I think, whether you want to take a single hour-long break or if you want to take 2 30s. I think you were allowed to choose. I don't know anyone that decided to make 2 breaks. I'm pretty sure most people, it was they took an hour and fucking left and then came back when it was over. All in all, it was a pretty solid deal as far as breaks go. The sus just joined. What is this? I'm talking about working retail. That's what this is. Story isn't showing up in top chat. Well, I have live chat turned on. So let's see. What's the story from Dylan about the racist Mongolian family?
You know what's sad? I just looked up the score of the Miami Dolphins game because I'm not just a nerd, I'm also a sports nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the first thing that comes up, instead of the score, which by the way Miami is losing, that sucks for me in the pool, it's a bunch of bikini and underwear tops of Miami Dolphins merchandise. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about, first off, who the fuck is a Miami Dolphins fan outside of 1977? And second of all, I do not care. Like, what? How does looking up a sports team name get you women's underwear at the first search? How is that a possibility?
Something algorithms collapsing. Let's see, Dylan talking about the racist Mongol parents. One of my students was Mongolian, and he was an asshole to multiple Jewish kids. Pushed my limit by yelling at one of them, "Oh, shut it, you're only here because the that's really racist, actually really anti-Semitic. Something, they do not deny the Holocaust. In fact, they are glad that it happened. And I kicked him out, and they busted in my door one day, and the father's pissed and yells, "Bring me those dirty fucking Jews," and my jaw dropped. Yeah, that seems quite jaw-dropping.
Holy fuck.
They got kicked out, and I kicked the shit out of that dad because he put his hands on a female student his sperm goblin yelled at. That's a great description for someone's annoying child. A sperm
If this actually
goblin.
happened, kudos. Like, I'm serious, because we all like to think that we're the badass and the talk.
Yeah,
No,
except
that-
Dylan actually teaches like some sort of fighting bullshit. I don't know
Yeah.
what specifically. I know he practices spearmanship. I don't know what he does beyond that.
Because you also love to think that, like, there's no repercussions, but this is not the 90s anymore, all right? You can't just punch a dude out at a bar and not have the cops with a fucking foot in your back in 3 hours.
Exactly, which is why you can only beat the fuck out of people when you live in a rural area. Or in the hood.
Yeah, that's why I'm so pissed off. This is why I was making that podcast and stuff. Like, I'm so pissed off. Like, once again, I believe that all the progression of up to 2022 is mostly good, but there's also this problem. Like,
It's
you
the
not
police
fucking
state,
afraid of me?
Griever.
You are a 5 feet piece of shit, and I am fucking 5'11" and clearly capable of beating the ever-loving shit out of you. Do you really want to piss me off? How far do you want to push me until I end up in jail because you lost? You know what I mean?
It's the police
Like,
state,
there-
Griever.
I miss it. No, I seriously miss it. Because when I was a kid, even when I was a kid, when a bully beat you up or whatever, and you beat the bully up, it was all right. You go to the principal's office, but that was the end of it. Nobody got suspended. Nobody got expelled. Everyone's like, all right, shake hands, make nice. Fists were thrown, and then the anger was gone. That's how you solve it. You do not start suspending and expelling kids, you know, and now they're doing the same thing to adults. You can't, like,
We're truly failing at as a society when you can't do retaliatory violence without consequence anymore.
yeah, like tomorrow, for example, if my brother's acting out or whatever, and he's drunk or something, and I knock him out, technically speaking, he can go to the cops and say he committed assault. And he would be valid, and I would go to jail. Now, should I go to jail because my brother was being a blithering idiot?
Probably
being
not.
untaught and I knocked him out? No. But nowadays, the law states that, and the law has not changed. That's the thing that people don't understand. The law has not changed. The law has been the same since like 1945. The problem is that now people are looking at the law. They're looking at the fine print. Nobody can have a bar fight anymore. Bar fights used to happen all the fucking time. My mother was a fucking bouncer or the tag girl or whatever you call them at one of the most harshest bars. They were throwing guys all across the table, beer bottles being smashed over guys' heads. And it was like, all right, guys, get out of the bar, go sober off. And then they'd come back 2 hours later. It was no big deal. Nobody cared. There was no cops. Nobody died. It was fine. Now all of a sudden, God forbid, you actually punch someone in the face.
We used to be a real country once. You ever see those videos when cops get into fucking fistfights with people? Those are
Yeah.
nuts. Those are fucking
I just
wild.
kind of wanted to bring something up.
Let's hear it.
Is that what you're saying, Griever? A
Yes.
single punch could kill someone.
There have been
Like a single-
cases of that.
It has-
Sorry, a what?
A single punch can kill a person, depending on what
wow.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it can. But I can also die of a heart attack right now talking to you guys. Is that your guys' fault? No. Like, my
I
point
know.
is, anything can happen to anybody. Like, boxers beat the shit out of each other for a living.
Well, I
Some
think that's
people
because
do
they
die in the ring.
fill out some kind of contracts or that.
They
So
do.
They-
They
once
like
again,
legally,
they're-
you know, you can, at least in the U.S., cannibalism is legal if the person consents to it in various states.
Yeah, see, and that sounds fucked up, but it's still technically, as you said, like, you know,
Person's cool
Like,
with it.
look-
I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's sort of like the whole idea. Well, I can buy a set of steak knives. Now, I can be planning to use those steak knives to stab 4 individual people, or I can be carving a steak. It's not up to the is it the Walmart shopper's job to know why I'm buying steak knives? Like
no.
so there's a certain, like, I know what Bob is trying to say, like a single punch can kill someone, yeah, but I have, you know how many things in my house can kill somebody? I have swords. I actually, as a Canadian, of course, I don't have a gun, but I have swords, I have tools, I have drills, I have fucking baseball bats, hockey sticks, goalie skates. You know how sharp a fucking hockey skate is? That is sharper than any fucking sword in the known world. I will slit 7 people with that thing before a katana could. Like, so now according to that logic, my basement is filled with dangerous weapons. And technically, it is.
give the government enough time.
Apparently-
Yeah,
It is
give
still
the government enough
legal
time. Yeah.
for 2
Mhm.
consenting adults to engage in a sword fight to the death.
Really?
Apparently
That's
you may need
awesome.
some kind of license for it.
I seriously, I would want to duel so many fucking people.
In common law, the most you can consent to is simple assault. You can agree to a fist fight, but not a sword fight.
Yes.
Oh, I would do a fist fight with a lot of fucking people too.
Several U.S. states have dueling laws or exceptions/defenses related to mutual combat. Texas law, for example, allows a fight with fists, but not guns or swords. Oh, fuck's sake. I thought Texas had a law that lets you carry around a sword.
Um,
I mean, open
No,
carry
you do what
is
they- no,
basically
man,
the equivalent.
You do what the animes do. You put it in a cloth so that nobody knows you're technically carrying
And
around
I
a
just
sword.
need to get a sword cane. I know these are real.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're real and cool.
I used to have a sword cane, but it broke.
My
It was
dad
pretty cool.
has I forget what they're called, but they're the wooden sheathed katanas that don't really have like a hilt. I don't remember what they're called.
Oh, Sakurabo something. Ah,
So-
shit, I forget the word. But yeah, there is a word for it. Yeah, where it's literally a wooden stick and then it pulls out a sword.
Let's see, what's it called? My dad has a set of 3 Shirasaya.
Shirasayas.
Let me
Yeah.
pull up the picture of these. My dad got these from back when he did international kickboxing in the 90s.
yeah, you gotta ask your dad to put those in his will for you.
I'm very
Wait.
confident I would probably get
Your
these
dad,
in the will.
like,
This
you
is basically
sprung
the
out
set
of
that he has, though these ones are slightly different looking. They're a little fancier.
I have a question because you've always said that your dad's pretty much a badass, but is he still in shape?
No,
Like-
he hasn't gone to the gym in a
No.
while. We have an in-home gym, but he hasn't really used it in a while because we really have just turned it into the garage where you throw shit.
Oh, that's yeah.
I mean,
You
You know,
I'm sure if he
I
gets
feel
in the
like
mood
every
for it
dad-
again, he'll work out more.
But once again, now I sort of understand because there was this weird TikTok I was watching, and it's kind of funny because they said, "Here's why is the dad bod is attractive." Because you know how nowadays all of a sudden the dad bod's attractive, and
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck? But this one TikTok explained it like super well, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was pretty much like, because that man is responsible.
Mhm.
That man went out there. The reason he has the beer gut, the reason he's got that body is because he did work. He did have abs in his 20s, but then he had kids and he needed to be responsible. So what did he do? He afforded the money to put the bread on the table, to afford the roof over the house. He did all the shit. He did everything right. And now he's fucking tired. He's exhausted. This man has worked 24 hours a day for the last 20 years to provide for you ungrateful fucking little brats. So at the end of the day, when the man is 54 years old, No wonder he looks like that. You cannot maintain Dwayne The Rock body fucking looking like that while also with no money. You cannot do it. That is impossible. So
You're
while
out of commission. I assume you mean being unemployed is a good thing for me? Yes, because I put in my 2 weeks. So it's not like I got fired.
But
And
yeah,
I
so
like not having a job. It's more fun.
So that's the fun thing that I learned, anyways. And I was sort of, you know what? Now I get why they're looking at it not as a cash cow and not as a physically attractive body. They're looking at it as a commitment.
I'm sure that
will
is the unspoken subconscious reason for it.
Exactly. That man, the man with the beer gut but still has the arms.
He has
will
the arms.
never be you. Yeah.
Like, he looks strong, but he's got a fucking gut. He's got a big
Like
gut.
I'll tell you right now, my dad has a beer gut, but he's got arms and he has chicken legs. His legs are skinnier than mine.
Oh my god, it sounds like he's built like an alcoholic.
Yeah, he
Wait
is.
a minute.
See, here's
Are
the thing.
we talking about like One Piece character level skinny
Oh
legs?
my god. There was one time when I was...
We're not talking that level. We're not talking that level.
There was one
But-
time when I was visiting my uncle in Cape Cod, and we were walking to the post office because we were fucking bored out of our minds. This was a very entertaining walk. My uncle lives in Falmouth, and the way he describes Falmouth is that everyone that lives here who's not retired is either an alcoholic or a heroin addict. So we were walking to the post office, and we made a game out of counting every little fucking shot bottle that we found on the ground walking on the way there. We must have counted like at least 50. But as we got to like the little stretch of like shops and the bank and shit, there was some lady walking into like this little convenience store or whatever that was like really barrel-bodied. Like her torso was very round and cylindrical, but she had skinny limbs. And as she like walked off into the store at the other side of the street or whatever, my uncle was like, "Just so you know, that's what an alcoholic looks like." And I was like, "Thank you, that's very useful information." So now I know what alcoholics look like, and it's true.
I see. Hopefully I can remain skinny for my entire life then.
Well, you're Scottish, but you don't seem to have a taste for alcohol, so I imagine you'll avoid the alcoholism.
Yeah. Look, someone else can have it.
Or steroids?
Steroids?
Nah, I don't know about that. People who do steroids have a different, distinctive look. Agreever's muted himself. He must be on the phone or something. You've discovered the Fire Giant theme and how really good it is.
I discovered it ages ago and just reposting it.
Oh, well, it's underrated. Mostly because
It
just the Fire Giant fight is not that good.
Yeah, until you get a ranged weapon or
Until
anything
you
with
get
like
a ranged weapon, you can shoot it in the
not
eyeball.
not even like range, just like any distanced attack is peak fight then.
I don't know if I'd say peak. I still think kind of it's a bit janky. It's got some issues.
And just to be clear, Misc, you already knew what an alcoholic looked like because you've seen my face.
Well, this was before I met you. This was like 4 years ago.
Oh.
So
Fair enough. And I'm also not an alcoholic. I'm just a drunk because I don't go to meetings.
there's a difference there.
So there you go. Actually, there was a funny discussion. I think I've told you this story before, Miss, but there's a funny discussion about what makes an alcoholic from a drunk, and the fact of the matter is it's all due to the behavior. Are you able to function like if I were to be stone cold turkey tomorrow, would my work life, social life, home life, anything change? If your behaviors in your day-to-day routine life changes, you're an alcoholic. If it doesn't, you can't be an alcoholic. It's no different than any other addiction. If you quit the addiction tomorrow cold turkey and nothing were to change that month, maybe you get a little more done because you're not drinking or hungover or something like that, but that's not what we're talking about. Would you do anything different? Would I stop doing YouTube? Would I not put up Christmas decorations? Would I divorce my wife? Would you do anything different? Would you not go to work? Would you go to work? Right? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself, the big questions. and that's what separates someone who drinks too much or smokes too much or whatever from an actual addict. That's what it's been described as. So that's how I know I'm still safe, because I still go to work in the morning.
That's
Once I
fair.
start going
That's
to
a
work
fair
in the morning,
assessment.
because
That's a
Yeah,
good way
yeah.
to check and make
Well,
sure you're not addicted to something. Can
Yeah.
you function
Well,
without it?
Well, I do own that Game of Thrones mug, even though I'm not a huge fan of Game of Thrones. I do own the one I drink and I know things, because that just fits me.
It's a
a
good
lot.
line.
Yeah, it is a good line and it suits me very well. But also, I've always said to my wife, because she doesn't like how much I drink. I mean, clearly I do drink too much. I know that.
Mhm.
But one of the big things is I've always told her, I said, listen, I don't gamble, I don't toke, I don't cheat, I don't smoke, I don't do hardcore drugs, I don't do anything else. I drink.
You have
Drinking
one of
is
the
my
less destructive hobbies.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
picked one vice, and I actually told her one time, and not to TMI, but I said, listen, if you want to be sort of available in the bed 24/7, then maybe I won't drink so much. You know what I mean? Like, because then I'll pick sex as my vice. But outside of that, like, I'm sort of like, I've basically got only one real vice, which, and I acknowledge it's a vice, and I think everybody needs a stress reliever. Everybody needs a vice. Some people, it's more healthy, but you could even argue, like we've heard about, even as we're all gamers here, video game addiction, and to a degree, video games aren't healthy for some people. They go too far with it.
Yeah, I was
feel
just
like anything
reminded
can be-
of a
Yeah.
story I remember hearing years ago
Oh.
that my
Yeah.
uncle actually told me. Yeah, it was a guy in Taiwan. This was back... Oh my fucking god, of course he was playing League.
Sounds about
Of
right.
course, League of Legends.
That's a deadly addiction.
A guy in
The game.
a guy in Taiwan, a
Mhm.
23-year-old man, died in an internet cafe in Taiwan after playing League of Legends for 23 hours straight.
That Glenn one.
I think the guy, he had a suspected heart attack. The way my uncle described this to me when he told me the story many years ago, and I'm not sure this is how it works, it was due to the fact that he basically wasn't fucking moving for 23 hours. He was alive, like he was still doing his bodily functions, but he was not fucking moving at all for basically an entire day. And that was not very healthy. I mean, I imagine that compounded with the other sort of practices of a guy that would play League of Legends for 23 hours straight.
Yeah, and also,
Probably
like,
wasn't very fucking healthy in the first place.
yeah,
and then
League
also
Did
is,
not fucking move. Did not shift his position around. Basically remained in the same position for 23 fucking hours. Yeah, no shit, he fucking died. Oh yeah, work in retail. I'd rate it like a 5 out of 10. It was fine. I imagine I imagine my job experience is like as okay as a job experience can be outside of doing something you actually like.
Alright, but what type of 5 out of 10 though? Because you have to
Oh,
remember,
okay. When I
there's
say
different
it's an
types.
I mean it's an average. It's not particularly good or bad. It's in the middle. It's
Alright, so what
fucking
5 out of
boring.
5
It's
would be?
boring as fuck. I would rather be doing other things, but there are way more unbearable things to do for money.
Yeah, for your next job, find the fun, enjoyable 4 out of 10.
I would like to find like a fucking game
Well,
store to work at or
I
something.
mean, Miss, to be fair, some days, just to play devil's advocate again, is like you say, like it's really fucking boring, and I understand that, having worked in retail for 3 years. But also, some days, the reason that I don't get certain videos out on time is that, and maybe this is because after working my day job and stuff like that, I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over. I edit the same graphics. I record the same video. Hi, everyone. It's Griever here. Let's talk about this fucking manga, And some days I just don't feel like doing it because I'm like, it's so repetitive. It's boring. And, and then I think like, well, if I feel it's repetitive, then the viewers must feel it's repetitive. And then I don't make the video in the first place. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it feels like it's bland or boring. You know. So I find like sometimes I'm really into it. Sometimes this video, I'm gonna do this stream, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm really excited. But other days I'm sitting there like, you know, I think I can push that another day. I don't need to record One Piece and One Piece and then you justify it. You know, like as you were saying before earlier in the stream, you're like, I don't give a fuck about that extra 560, an hour. I'll fucking sit down and have a full break. At the same time, I'm thinking, what's one more day? My One Piece reviews only get 50 views anyway, so oh my god, it's only got 36 views because I released it a day later, but I get that day off. You know what I mean? So any
I've had
job
some days like that with YouTube.
Review a better series then.
Whoa.
And for me, this isn't even a job. I don't get paid. This is a passion project. I have no Patreon. I have no stocks in YouTube. I've got nothing. So if I'm feeling that worn out over a passion project, then I think that there's a serious issue, and that's why I say, you know what? No, I'm not making. Because if I'm not into it, then that defeats the whole point of it being a passion project, right?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I start doing videos as passion project, that'd be funny.
I mean, that's what Neo's apparently started doing with,
I
Okay,
did
whatever the
watch
fuck
one
he's
of
reading.
Neo's, but I only know the first video that he was talking about. The other ones I don't know anything. So
I don't read fucking light novels. I'm not
Yeah,
that
all
big
I
of a
do-
weeb.
I
What I
can't
do
stand
for-
light novels, honestly.
Sounds like
Oh.
a lot of light novels kind of suck.
They do. There's
That's
so
what's
many
really
bad
bad.
ones. I tried to get into light novels.
Yeah, that's
and
because only the bad ones get the spotlight.
yeah,
I don't know if
it's true.
the Bleach ones are good or not. It sounds like they have a lot of stupid shit in them.
Yeah,
like,
actually, to
These
me,
fucking
the Bleach-
assistants, they pick like some random background character that appears in a single panel. It's like, actually, Shaz Domino is a creation of Gremmy, and his ability is super regeneration or whatever stupid
Yeah, then
shit.
you also get like, yeah,
No. Here's
Holy
to me the
fuck.
worst part is that one of the previous Kenpachis is so fucking broken.
Oh, this
that
guy,
he-
yeah.
that
He's
he
in constant
breaks
Bankai.
everything, and I'm sitting back there like,
which one? There's two in the books.
He's the guy that's
well,
constantly in
whichever one
Bankai, the
broke
guy
it.
that's kind of a twink.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
so-
guy. What
So
that
wait
guy?
a minute. So my whole understanding was that Unohana gave up her role as Kenpachi, right? And then we had some second guy. Up
Hello?
until this point, Kenpachi Zaraki has now been, and now it's sort of the two Kenpachis cannot exist in the same verse. It takes away 100%, and nobody can fight me on this. This takes away so much from the fact that, because a lot of people argue that why did Kenpachi have to kill, why did Zaraki have to kill Unohana? Why couldn't they both fought the things together? I'm like, because for character arcs, for story reasons, and the whole rule of thumb, which was established back in the Soul Society, is that the strongest is known as the Kenpachi.
Even though that's never been accurate.
I know.
Yeah.
And so when
Yeah,
she
there's
takes
always
back
been
the
two
sword,
Kenpachis.
yeah, but my thing is you can't have two Kenpachi. So, and that was established in the Soul Society arc.
And
So-
it's kind of the deal with the Unohana fight in Thousand Year Blood, where it's
Right,
Kenpachi
is that
becoming
One of
Kenpachi
them has
for
to die.
real. It's him
Right.
becoming Kenpachi for real. So when he fights Gremmy, and he says, "Yeah, I can cut anything you can think of because I'm the Kenpachi," that's
Right,
why
the
that
whole
has impact
thing.
then.
Exactly. But because of these novels, which is why I sort of ignore it until fucking Kubo puts it in somewhere.
Until they get
Uh,
animated.
Until they get animated, I'm not fucking, or in the Hellverse manga chapters, I'm not fucking acknowledging it because it really ruins the idea, because the whole argument against why non-believers believe that the whole, why couldn't Unohana and Kenpachi do this duel after they killed all the Quincy's, is because that's not the way the rules work. It's character building. It's this, that, and the other thing. That all gets destroyed if we have some fucking Kenpachi that's more broken than the two of them combined.
And it's just like, where the fuck this guy even supposed to be? Is
Yeah,
he
yeah.
Muken or
and
something?
This guy's
Where is this
apparently
guy?
alive in Muken.
Where?
Like-
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Whoa, was this
he's
dude just like
apparently alive in
watching their fight from a distance or something?
He's
Yeah, like
living in the
that's
walls,
what I
I
don't
think.
understand. This guy's
Oh, he was
apparently
in the
alive in Muken.
walls because he.
Yes,
I don't
actually,
know.
what I believe it is, I think, because
How the fuck does his
Yeah.
Bankai work again?
It's
I can't
broken as
remember.
shit.
But it's
Whatever. it
like
is.
Who's
It's a
Bankai?
light novel thing, so naturally it's broken as
It's
fuck.
broken.
Okay.
Wait, are you
Myth.
talking about
Let me
Shinji's Bankai?
speak for once, please.
You know how?
Wait, let
the
Neve
place
speak.
absorbed-
Look, I'm pretty sure, like, last time I checked, because that's been a long time, I believe it allowed them to merge with spiritual pressure.
That
When, you know-
sounds really vague and thus really fucking broken.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. They
It's
could-
Reishi.
Yeah, you could live
Wait,
inside
who-
walls.
Oh, it's a
quite
Reishi
easily.
manipulating Bankai? Or he
Eh.
turns into Reishi? So he has a fucking Quincy power as his Bankai. Wait, did they turn fucking Slave Ray into a Bankai?
Wouldn't be
Somewhat.
surprising.
Oh
He
my
can also
fucking
turn into
god.
the fucking- He can turn into the air.
Oh,
But
yeah,
the
that's
thing
cracked.
is, Quincy's could absolutely destroy him. Like the average Quincy. Oh, I'm gonna turn you into an elf.
That
Yeah,
they
so-
would be able to do that.
No. Hold on, his Bankai.
It's
I'm
nice
reading
being
up on it right
broken.
now. It was the 8th, and he's still in Muken, confirmed. He's the power of his Bankai is to fuse with all of his surroundings and control it. This is a power that extends to everything, even the air and the ground.
What is
According
the
to,
range of
Yogi
his surroundings?
Hoenn, his Bankai inner world is constantly fused with the outside world.
So
So-
what is the limitation for his surroundings? Is there
Well,
like a
apparently,
radius?
using this ability allows him to out. So you know how Koika Tsuigetsu worked against fucking Yuha's Almighty?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work against this motherfucker. Using the same ability allows him to outmaneuver Sosuke Aizen's Koika Tsuigetsu, though this feat took Ashiazo 2 days to do, but he still fucking did it.
How does it let him
it.
do that?
Fuck light novels. Fuck that broken
How does
shit.
how does that let him do that?
I don't know.
It's always his Bankai, I think.
And why? Yeah, that's his Bankai. So okay, I can control the space around me. Fine, Danny. That like let's use Jujutsu Kaisen. All right, the domain expansion. You control that space, right? So
Yeah.
there's a limit. Fine, Dandy. That's the argument, is that he's got a limit, but he controls everything in that space. But my argument is this is already flawed. Because why would it take him 2 days to control Koika Tsuigetsu if he automatically controls everything in that space? Why did it take him 48 hours to do it? That
yeah,
makes
so
no
the
sense.
description's
Now, there
accurate.
is
It's just it's a hack's power and thus is affected by spiritual pressure, I guess.
Yeah,
But if he
yeah.
Did
So,
it-
so I call bullshit. That's
The
why
only
I
two
don't want it
things
animated. I don't want to see it.
I ever
I-
acknowledge fully from the light novels is Hisagi's Bankai and Shinji's Bankai. Because
Yes,
we should have seen
Shinji's
those in the
Bankai
manga,
is
and we just kind of
awesome.
didn't. And they don't
No,
sound
I
too
agree.
absurd. They sound somewhat reasonable given their personalities and how we know their powers works. Shuhei's is basically what? Like we're stuck in a fucking non-death match until we both pass out. It sounds like a less
Yeah.
lethal version of Kyoraku's Bankai, as far as I understand. And with Shinji's, it's literally just fucking team switching.
Yeah, exactly. So
And you kill each other on the same team.
So it makes everyone crazy. That's his power. It sounds
Yeah.
like a fair Bankai extension of everything gets inverted.
Yeah.
And I
And
guess
it makes sense because why would you use it in a group of your allies?
yeah,
during
his
the
makes
Second Year
sense that he never
War.
used it because it's like that's a terrible Bankai. It's really bad, technically.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, what I don't like is that then you get into this argument. It's like, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna sit back and people are gonna say, well, it doesn't count because Kubo said the light now.
I
like, yeah, but did you write it?
guarantee you, what happens is the assistants hand Kubo a synopsis of the story, and he's like, alright, and then he just goes back to whatever Kubo does in his free time, fucking writing poetry or something.
The other thing I like about the light novels that you guys might not like is that it's confirmed that Grimjar has a second release in that one.
Is that an actual light novel thing? I thought that was
Yes,
an event
it is.
thing for
Yes.
Brave Souls.
It's different to that because in Brave Souls, they merge with the Hogyoku. It's
I
probably
mean, I
different,
guess
but
after
similar
a
looking to
significant
that.
enough amount of time, it's fine that Grimjaw would unlock a second resurrection. Otherwise, he's like literally fucking irrelevant to everyone at that point in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a second
Both of them
resurrection
could get a
for
second release.
there's nothing wrong with Grimjaw. See, that's what I don't mind. I don't mind, like, if the light novels want to acknowledge, okay, Hisagi's Bankai, Shinji's Bankai, Resurrections, that's fine. Because we knew that they were possible. Aizen's Bankai, for Christ's sakes. We know he's got one. But at the end of the day, when you change shit like this Kenpachi, who is sitting in... So, my argument is, wait a minute now.
The Kenpachi before
is
guy,
sitting in-
he actually makes sense. He's not
Yeah,
overpowered.
yeah, like,
and
it's
does
gotta
the
make sense
bullshit
for
like that.
Like, here's the other issue, is that Thousand Year Blood War arc has plot issues, has storyline issues. We all know it. We're hoping, so far, they are being fixed in the anime, which is fantastic. Because it's not that bad an arc, as people like to believe. It is a very good arc.
And
But the
thus,
thing is-
with
Yeah, I
us
enjoy it.
fixing these problems, it's hopefully going to become a
Right.
significantly better
But
arc.
the light novels, by introducing this 8th fucking Kenpachi and Muken, alright, so now, what is your reasoning? What I want to ask the light novel canon people, what the fuck is your reasoning for why the 8th Kenpachi didn't come out and help? Why is he in Muken? Because here's the deal. Aizen's out. He's in Muken.
Because he would be
They're in the
jobbed
same
by any
place.
Quincy and is...
It is true, given how his power
No.
works, he would get, like, instantly obliterated by almost any Stern Ritter.
Yeah, but by that logic, why?
And let's be
I don't
honest.
understand. Koikad Suigetsu fails to this guy's Bankai, but Koikad Suigetsu works against literal god. Fuck off.
I think the way it could
Bankai
work,
overrides
With
race
the-
shit,
with the
okay?
light novels
I-
as well.
if I had
Is
to play devil's advocate through having never read it, I would say the way I can see it hypothetically working is, oh, it took him some time to actually, in his like mist form or whatever, find Koika Suigetsu, the sword, and touch it.
Oh, I guess
Because
I guess
soon
that's
as you
how it would
touch
work
it-
technically. Because if he
Well,
is if he's one with everything, I guess he could technically touch Kyoka Suigetsu.
I
But
thought
doesn't
that-
Kyoka
I thought
Suigetsu
Yeah,
technically not
Technically
exist
speaking, like,
anymore?
Koikad Suigetsu doesn't exist anymore. It's Aizen himself.
Actually, I
you have
don't
to
even know if
touch
this one was.
Aizen. To activate
Before or
Aizen's
after?
ability.
It's anything
don't-
post Thousand Year Blood War, which I'm pretty sure it is. That just means Aizen's in Muken and Kyoka Suigetsu's merged with him.
Yes, exactly. And my point is that at the time of the Stern Ritter, at the time of the second invasion, when Aizen was released from Muken, the 8th Kenpachi from these light novels should have no problem showing up and fucking up the Quincy's day, because by the argument that Koikad Suigetsu, which is merged with Aizen, so you can argue it's basically a domain expansion, like it just works because he doesn't have to release any sword because he doesn't have a sword anymore. It's just on all the time. Like the 8th Kenpachi's Bankai, it should still work. Why?
Nice,
Why?
hi. Hello, Gifted Man.
Another
How you
asshole
doing?
from Muken. That makes no sense.
I like reading light
Dio says that this
Reading
Kenpachi's
novels
physically
have
weak
connection.
outside of his Bankai, so like without his
But he's in
Bankai,
his
he's just kind of
Bankai
shit.
all the time.
Yeah, he is in Bankai all the time, which is fucking ridiculous. Actually, that's just the opposite of Zaraki Kenpachi. He's just always been in base and is somehow able to fight people normally.
This is why I don't like this guy. This is why I don't want to even acknowledge the 8th Kenpachi at all as being
Then we
canon,
have to
because-
ask another question here. How the fuck did someone become the 9th Kenpachi?
Oh,
I think this guy just got sent
this
to
guy-
prison.
Yeah, this
He's
guy
looking
got
at major
imprisoned in
technology.
Muken because he was too fucking dangerous because he was in Bankai all the time. And then the lieutenant automatically became the Kenpachi.
But that's how you
because-
become captain. That's not how being Kenpachi
No,
works.
I know. So that's why it's bullshit too, because the strongest is supposed to be the Kenpachi. So
Which is
the
still
ninth has
really
no
funny.
being the ninth.
It's still
No,
really
the
funny that
no,
the Kenpachi
when Death
has
has
never
much
been the
before the
strongest
new
just because Yamamoto exists.
Yeah.
In
Well,
fact,
actually,
that
I'll
means
agree
that being the
with-
Kenpachi is more like, you who hold the title of second strongest Shinigami of the era.
Let's be honest.
It's not about
it's not
being the
even
strongest
second
Shinigami.
strongest.
It's about being the strongest sword.
Yeah,
well,
it feels like more of the way how it's supposed to work, because basically Kenpachi is the strongest character in base.
Yeah, I mean,
except for Yamamoto again, because without Ryujin Jaka, Yamamoto is still the strongest.
Yeah, exactly. Like Yamamoto is still the strongest, but Yamamoto and Unohana existed at the same time. I think Yamamoto is sort of the exception, not the rule, and that there was no one stronger than Unohana.
We do have to wonder how strong actually was the original Gotei 13, because it seems like
Dami strong.
even like Yamamoto's like fucking ridiculous. The guy's obviously top 10 strongest, and he's not in the bottom of the top 10, arguably, unless you want to argue that like some of the Shitstoffel are above him, which I would say, like, you know, fucking Lille and Gerard outhacks him because they're just retarded.
What
And
about Grammy?
Grammy's a fucking idiot. You know,
We don't count
Yamamoto
Grammy.
seems like a character in which Grammy would not imagine how to defeat him and then accidentally kill himself.
No. Here's what Yamamoto would do. He would do, you know why you're scared of me, brat? It's because no one has been born in the last 1,000 years that has been stronger than me. And that includes you, brat.
Unless you think
So,
he's the brain of the soul.
Yamamoto would be Grammy because he'd be as fucking confident as he was when he fucking shit talked Aizen. He'd be like, "Yeah,
Do you
I don't
think
give
you
a fuck
can-
what you can do? I'm the strongest thing born in the last 1,000 years."
You know, that
not-
interaction was really funny. It's actually kind of sad, like, how super confident Yamamoto is, and then he just kind of gets owned immediately afterwards every
Yeah,
time.
but that's because literally, but see, people
Everyone
fail to
cheats to
remember the
fight
second-
Yamamoto. Everyone
the
cheats to
panel
fight him.
after that. Everyone fails to remember the panel after that. Aizen went, "Yeah,
I've
first off,
already
your
cut you."
Zanpakuto, strongest in existence, bar none, better than mine. And also, 1v1, I'm gonna lose. But that's why I'm a genius, because I set up a fucking guy to like, I set up fucking Wonder Weiss and all this shit." Aizen admitted. Why do people in both the Viz and the manga stream and all the other translations, it basically boils down to Aizen admits that in a 1v1 straight up match with no interference, he loses.
Yeah, because
Yamamoto was stronger than Aizen, confirmed
I
by Aizen himself.
fucking detest people who rank the strength of the captains, and they always put Aizen over Yamamoto for when he hasn't been a captain anymore. Like, they include end of series Aizen, but I'm like, he's not a fucking captain anymore. He shouldn't be on the fucking list. If we include Aizen when he was a captain, he's like the third strongest, because Kyoraku could kill him in Bankai, probably.
Yeah, no, Kubo, that's another thing.
Then Kubo literally said he could do that, so
that-
I
that
put like Kyoraku above
Runsky would
Soul
have killed
Society.
Aizen had he not been Hitsugaya and stuff like that, because Ukitake told him, "Don't use your Bankai." There was a reason he said that, and Kubo confirmed, is like, yeah, Shunsui, but the problem is it would have caught up a lot of the other innocents in it, because he
Yeah.
can't control the space around it.
Right.
But he would have killed Aizen, confirmed by Kubo himself. I don't know why people are arguing with the fucking author.
I hate when people argue with the author. I hate when the creator says this character. When the creator makes a definitive statement about power scaling and the fans are like, well, I just haven't seen enough feats to prove it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut up. Like, if
Yeah.
tomorrow, like we can get whatever we want out of JJK, but if tomorrow, like, I'm a Yuta stan, for example, with JJK, but if tomorrow Gege comes out and says Kenjaku would 1v1 Yuta, I have to accept that. Am I unhappy about it? Sure, but I'm not going to deny it. That means
Yeah,
okay.
you can't really deny the author of the series.
It's
But
so
that-
You're right.
silly
You need
poster.
child.
You say you can, but
Oh,
If I
people
write a story
will,
tomorrow
but they are
and you
fucking
guys all love
stupid.
it, if you read 100 chapters of a novel I write tomorrow, and you guys are arguing over power scale, and I come in and I go, well, actually, this wizard would beat this mage, and you guys are like, no, you're fucking wrong. I'll be like, didn't I write the fucking story, assholes? Like,
Yeah,
so, yeah, so like, yeah.
it's literally covering your ears and
Anyway,
going,
where
"Oh,
the fuck was I?
I can't hear you."
What was I talking about? Oh, right, the
Yeah.
original Gote. So Yamamoto's like top 10. He's like 7th or somewhere. He's pretty up there, generally speaking.
Honestly, I want to know how strong the old guy is.
That guy is fucking weird.
he's the one-
Unohana's what? Like, I don't know, top 15, top 20? The weird thing is
Yeah.
Unohana's
We
really
don't
hard to
have
scale,
Honkai yet.
because she loses to Kenpachi after he unlocks his true power, but like that's still Kenpachi in base. And then Kenpachi gets
He
kind of
doesn't
like
use it.
manhandled by a couple characters after the fact. So like Unohana's like really fucking hard to scale. And then I guess the rest of the Gote at that time was weaker than Unohana, because I'm assuming, since she was the Kenpachi, that there was Yamamoto, who's the strongest, and you had Unohana, and then everyone else was weaker than Unohana, probably. Presumably.
I'm gonna, and
oh,
once again, it's even the wiki says strongest Shinigami. No, it's in terms of battle.
Yeah,
So
they're the
she's
most
the
fearsome.
physically best fighter,
They're the best warrior. The most
the
powerful,
best,
the
right,
most skilled
the best
warrior. I'm
It's sort of like
thinking
Mihawk in One Piece.
probably
Yeah,
most of
She's-
the
she's the
original
Mihawk.
Gote probably is around the ballpark. They're like relative to like fucking end of series Toshiro or Byakuya. I'm thinking probably.
Yeah, probably.
That's probably like a safe assumption. That's probably where most of them were around at the time, because like end of series Gote fucking sucks. They're weak as shit. Like half the captains are fucking
Yeah.
garbage.
but to be fair,
We
some
have
of them
seen
have
it.
leveled.
It just ended with a big ass war that lost them like most.
Because
of the
like it's
captains.
fair. It's post-war Gote. They're
Yeah,
working with
we
what they've
lost
got.
half our captains.
So, you know, we've got a bunch of people that we've either never seen their Bankai, some we've never even seen their fucking Shikai, some we've never even seen fight at all. So, like,
Yep.
the current Gote is hard carried by, like, its top 6 members, I guess.
That's why I want to
But
see
those
more,
top 6
more of
guys
them
are
in the
fucking
Hella
cracked.
arc.
Those top 6 guys in the current Gote are disgusting. Especially when you get to, like, top 3 fucking Shunsui, Kenpachi, and then fucking, I don't know, Toshiro or Byakuya. One of those two. I'm probably forgetting someone right now. Mayuri is weird, because Mayuri is a prep time character, but, you know. That just means
Yeah,
he could
he's like
theoretically beat
Batman.
anyone.
There's another example of somebody who is
Batman.
like, all right, he's a super smart and innovative fighter. So I would never put Mayuri over Kenpachi or Yamamoto or Hana, but I
Ah.
would never say he's a weak captain either.
Yeah, because he
So
can always figure out a way to beat someone. Just give him, like, 10 minutes.
he's built different. Sort of like Kisuke.
He
I'd
builds
rank
himself different.
Urahara. Like
I
he's not-
mean, fucking Benahime, whatever the fuck, his Bankai is pretty busted. So, you know, Urahara
Yeah.
is still like top 10, arguably.
Yeah, he really is. But where on the top 10 do you rank him? That's where people get into
Probably
these
like the
fucking
lower
debates.
part, I guess. I mean, I'd put him above Askin,
I would put him as
generally, and I'd probably put him over Pernida, but like I wouldn't put him above Lille or Gerard, because that's just when Kubo was like, yeah, these guys are the heralds of God. They're divine beings. They're fucking impossible to beat.
But he was smart enough to like.
I
Could,
think he could beat Lele.
Maybe he
I
could beat
think-
Lille. The fucking.
I think Kisuke beats any of the 4.
You think he can beat Gerard?
You know why?
I'm
I
gonna
think
keep it
Gerard-
real with you. The only character I can imagine beating Gerard in a fight that's not Yua is Ichibei, because he can probably use Ichimonji to just nullify his power. Like, just
I'll tell
take
you
it
why.
away.
I could-
There was this-
He's
Oh, sorry.
Mm,
He's top tier.
Unless it's because he's the heart of the Soul King that the power just doesn't work on him, I'm fairly confident Ichibei is the only person that can beat Gerard just because he takes away his power. Other than that, Gerard is the second most broken character in the series.
No, here's like there's an actual. I think I posted this months ago, and I wish I still had the link.
Oh,
There
was it
was
the
a theory
Naruto
on
thing?
Reddit. Yeah, how the miracle works, and it showcases us how Gerard can actually be beaten quite easily. Not easily, but
But how we can conceivably imagine a possible way to defeat him that isn't literally just someone taking away his power.
well,
You could imprison him is the only way I can think of.
I suppose
But,
if you put
you
him in
can't beat him in a
stasis, that would
fight.
qualify as defeating him.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, see, we don't
Honkai-
here's how the miracle. Remember, we actually, as a fan base, we don't know how the miracle works. Technically, we do
Hell, it
know,
could be
but we
part
don't
of
know
the
what it
Soul King
applies
power.
to. We like does Gerard? It's sort of like what's his name, the superstar guy.
Fucking Master Masculine.
Right, exactly. So
You got this mask.
he needs James to be to hype him up.
But you
So-
can't kill James.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The miracle is it because there's no way like somebody pointed it out and showcased it, and it was a huge essay thing on Reddit, and it actually made so much sense. And it showcased that Gerard is stupidly broken, but there was a number of characters that would take him out in the long haul if they had a long enough time to fight uninterrupted. Because the miracle does it work in the sense that Gerard believes it's an impossibility, or is it because the opponents believe it's an impossibility? And that is a clear distinction that we, the readers, do not know. So, depending on how
Okay,
the
that makes
miracle
sense.
works, like the miracle works on an impossibility, a miracle will happen. So, there's no possible way Gerard can get back up, and he gets back up.
So if there is a
Well,
way
it's a
to
miracle.
get back up, he can be defeated.
No.
Like if there's a chance.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not done. Is the fact that if Gerard believes that he can't get back up, he gets back up. Well, that's broken in and of itself because he already knows the miracle. So it can't be because he believes it. It's because the opponents believe it. So you already break away one idea of the miracle. The miracle can't be believed because Gerard believes it's an impossibility and it becomes a miracle. It's got to be because the opponents believe that attack must have taken him down. There's no fucking way he can get back up, and he gets back up. Their belief influences his miracle. Now, a
So you
man
have
of
to cripple
logic,
him.
like Mayuri or Kisuke or certain other people, would be like, yeah, no, I've already figured out your design. See, Byakuya, Kenpachi, and Toshiro, who all fought against him, would be let's be honest, the three most overconfident pricks in the entire fucking
Yeah.
series. So,
They're like,
as a result, the fact that Byakuya is sitting down and going Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi, that didn't kill him. What the fuck? I buy it. I buy that the three most arrogant son of bitches who think that they can cut down an enemy in one stroke and that has to be the end of them. Of course, the miracle's going to keep working. But if Mayuri fought him, Kisuke fought him, if Aizen fought him, man's dead. Because they are going to already figure out
You
the trick.
sure that
They
Mayuri
will
would
figure out the
be
trick.
not like, I got this.
Mayuri would take some time. Urahara, he's paranoid enough that he would be like, that should probably have killed him, but he
Actually,
could
wait. That almost seems like a self-fulfilling. That seems like a paradox because if
That's
you
what it
figure
is. The miracle is a self-fulfilling
wait,
paradox.
because if someone figures out how his power works, like if you think, as long as I think it's possible for you to get up, then you won't. But then if you think that, it's because you think if you think that, then they'll stay dead. Which
Well-
then means you think they're gonna die.
And here's the proof. Hold on, here's the proof. Kisuke couldn't actually beat the man. So what did he do? Third party Grimjow, boom. Kisuke thought out literally, quite literally, outside the box. And that's the point. Mayuri would do the same thing. Aizen would do the same thing. That's why this argument it totally works because Gerard's ability has to be his opponent's belief, not his own. Because there's no way, as you just said, Misc, it'd be a self-paradox. If Gerard was like, am I really going to die? Well, I'm going to die. Oh, I'm a miracle. Now, see, it can't be his own thought process. It would never work because that doesn't make sense. It can't work that way because so it must be the thoughts of the people around him that makes it an impossibility. A miracle happened.
Can you tell this is an endgame character in a series written by Tite Kubo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
so fucking ridiculous. What a stupid fucking power. Jesus
I
Christ.
will agree that I hate the miracle. I really do, but at least it is actually properly explained by this Reddit post, and it makes total fucking sense.
If only it was
Yeah.
explained in
If
the
only
manga.
we need to
Hey,
show
we
Kubo
might
this
get it
Reddit
in
post
the
and
anime.
ask him if it's accurate. We need to
Yeah,
ask
but wait a
Kubo if
minute,
this is
we
how
might
it
we
works.
get it.
Remember,
we get
we might
Reddit
get more
posts in the
details.
anime.
I fucking hope to God we get an explanation for it in the anime.
Yeah,
also,
if we
give
get more details in
allusions
the
to
anime, it'll make more sense.
allude to the fucking 8 mirror divine fly swatter sword for the Lille fight, please God. We're already
That
doing.
came out of nowhere, but it just looked weird. It looked like a fly swatter.
Well, because it's not.
than
It's a
an actual
bladeless sword. It's a
sword.
sword for deflecting power. It's literally a
Is it-
fucking paddle.
I
but
know,
it-
but it looks fucking stupid.
I mean, I think it looks
somehow.
neat when you acknowledge it's not a sword for cutting. It's like a ritual artifact.
All I'm saying is at the end of the day is that my Yuri and all of them, they all assume, even though Urahara's the man with 1,000 plans, they assume that maybe that put them down, maybe it didn't. Just look at Katakura Town, look at any of the other arcs. These guys are never confident they've killed their fucking opponent. They're always like, oh, you got up after that. All right, fair
Actually,
enough.
Mayuri did get
Yeah,
kind of
sure,
confident with
sweet.
Pernida after he, what did he do to him?
Yeah.
I forget. He fucking, basically petrified him or something. I forget exactly
he
what
was,
he did.
he was shocked. No, he was shocked that he recovered so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't. So there's a difference there. It's sort of like Sayosepora or whatever his name is.
Xyloporo.
Yeah, Nalapora. He knew that he couldn't kill him, but he was like, "Yeah, I could probably pull this shit on you, and that'll work." So once again, these characters aren't confident. See, look at Byakuya. Once again, just look at the captains that specifically fought Gerard, and tell me that you haven't seen Toshiro Hitsugaya be shocked that he didn't one-shot every fucking fight he's been in. He's always surprised. And then you have Kenpachi, who's always fucking like, wait a minute, somebody survived my cut? And then fucking Byakuya, who's always like, my pride, my fucking motherfucking pride. I'm not saying that I don't like these characters, I do, but these guys are literally the worst opponents for a dude who bases himself off of, well, it's impossible I get back up. I'm getting back up, motherfucker.
Gerard's such an entertaining guy to have such a fucking obnoxious power. He's a funny
Yeah.
guy. I like his
They- they're-
vibes, but his power is obnoxious.
You know what I don't like? Actually, Gerard's it doesn't bother me as much as fucking. It's not Askins. It's Lily.
Is it because of his
That dude
personality
evolves
shift or his
8
design
fucking
change?
times. That dude evolves more than a fucking Pokemon.
It's
just
because
because
he's
Shun
the
Sui's
herald
winning.
of God. He's the voice of God, the messenger
I know,
of
but
God.
he literally digivolves 4 fucking times just because Shun Sui is killing him. Every fucking time it's like,
Was there
oh, no,
an
Shun Sui
explanation
can
as to
evolve.
why he was not killed by Shunsui's Bankai? Was there an actual explanation for it?
No, and
he
we
ate the
need
pink
one in the
pizza
end.
kill me.
Turned into light.
I'm
And
fucking
evolved.
light,
And
you
light
idiot.
can't be affected. Or
I'm
something,
light,
yeah.
and I can't be affected, even though I was very clearly being affected.
Yeah. I hate that because Shunsui's Bankai can kill fucking Aizen, but he can't kill this motherfucker. No.
I mean, to be fair, this
Shut the fuck up.
motherfucker is in the top 10 strongest characters. He's disgusting.
Yeah, he's
X-Axis
dummy
is
strong.
fucking disgusting. Oh,
But
basically
then
all
all
of the
of a sudden-
Shostoffel powers are absurd.
But then we get a Zanpakuto that's some random god-slaying sword that manages to do it.
How
like,
convenient!
Shunsui's Bankai is strong
How
enough to do it. I don't
convenient.
give a fuck.
Really funny?
What's really
We
funny?
get a god-slaying sword, but that's not what we use to defeat a literal god later on.
Right.
No, we use a special arrow.
We use a special arrow that we don't talk about until in the last 10 chapters. Yeah, please
Which
do more
actually,
allusions
once
to it in the
again,
anime.
Look, the anime, like, Misc, you know, because we've done the watch parties.
They're
fixing
doing
it.
a bunch
They
of
got-
Uryu shit. I can
They
feel
got
it.
Uryu fucking researching. They got Uryu looking at
I
shit. If we
feel it
do
in
the
my
right foreshadowing.
Fucking
I'm good.
chest. When we get to more of the Ryukin stuff, because we've already added in Ryukin scenes with the added Uryu scenes. When
Yeah.
we get to like everything but the ring, we get to some of the post stuff for that with Ryukin's wife and whatnot. We're gonna be getting more. If they show the still silver arrow in like the second core or something, I will fucking shit myself. Because
I
then
will
it's
be so
literally,
happy.
it's like, well, okay, it's fine now, I guess. I mean, using a MacGuffin to defeat the main villain is still kind of eh. Because for thematic purposes, I
But
prefer
here's
when
the
the
thing,
main
too.
characters defeat the main villain through their own power and perseverance instead of with a plot object.
But you know what's also funny? Is that at the end of the day, someone pointed this out to me. And technically speaking, Oryu was right. Ichigo was too late. The Almighty came back. Still Silver paused him. And the original Zangetsu, which is the whole thing.
The
Zangetsu?
sword that can shatter
Yeah.
fate.
But he actually, the Still Silver arrow, Ichigo was too late. Almighty was back. He still got cut in half. So there is an argument that I was seeing, and there's different, like, I won't reiterate all of it, but that they're saying that Hashwolf is actually the reason that Yuha fails.
Yeah,
It's
because
because-
he tricked him into thinking that it was just a dream.
Yeah, he sent them that dream, but he thought it was a dream, but it wasn't a dream. It was literally this is one of the 1 out of 14 million Doctor Strange.
Here, this
fucking
vision of the
you got.
future is weirdly symbolic. You'll never believe
But
it.
Yamamoto, or not Yamamoto, Yuhaba couldn't believe it because it was original Zangetsu, and he's like, "Well, I broke Zangetsu, so it's fine." And it's not possible that Zangetsu could kill me, but
Kubo,
Zangetsu came back.
Explain Ichigo's Bankai in the anime, please God.
Yes,
it's
for the love of God.
it is straight up the weirdest part of that last stretch of the arc. Where it's
It-
just, oh yeah,
you
this
know
is
what
his
it is,
true
though?
Bankai. We're not gonna explain what it does or really show it do
Shock value
anything.
as hell, though. Will you not admit that the shock value of finally, it's like he has the hollow form, he's all dude, it's the final battle, and it's like Bankai, and then swing, and next panel,
It's the
Like,
biggest
I-
act of trolling Kubo has ever done.
that was fucking. I will admit, yeah, from a narrative perspective, that sucks. But from a week-to-week basis, that shit was fucking fire. It was like,
I don't know. I think
Bankai, fuck
KOLs. I think King of Lightning seemed pretty fucking pissed off from what I could tell, and
That
that
was-
was him
yeah,
reading
he
it week
was,
to
he
week.
was.
That was painful. That was like, what?
Yeah, that
When
was
I
a
got
wait.
to the
No,
panel,
that
I
was
was
a
like,
wait.
what
What?
the
Yeah.
fuck? Am I
Kubo does a
missing
little bit of
something?
trolling. What can I say? Now, I think
Yeah,
that's an
that was
issue from a
from a
narrative perspective where the main character reaches the strongest form he's ever reached ever, and like ever will reach, and the main villain's just like, no. Fuck you.
Yeah.
There's 8 chapters left. See ya. Christ.
Yeah. No, and that's basically what happened. Oh, we do need the explanation of Ichigo's Bankai. We need to know what it
We're
is.
solving the plot holes little by little.
And also, Ishin and Ryuken are
do
really gonna
something.
more.
That
I
fucking
feel like they're they're gonna fight alongside Renji and Aizen stuff in the final battle against Yuha in the anime. I feel like
I
And-
think what was it? It
and
was a
Grimjaw
Clyde
was
video
gonna
or
be
something talking
Not
about
just
how
fucking there.
for the final battle against Yua, just have everyone that's like fucking not dead and arguably within like the top 15 characters show up to fight Yua, and you could reasonably overwhelm him without needing the fucking Still Soul Arrow. Because then
You can still use it.
basically
but,
everyone there has plot relevance to
and-
Yua.
Yeah, you could be like, use it, but he's still like really powerful. The reason he loses, but it's like it takes away his almighty, but he's still like really powerful, and everybody just like gangs up on him.
yeah, because remember he did absorb the Soul King regardless.
He did do that. Oh,
Yeah,
another thing they
he's-
should add to the final battle. Actually, fucking show Goryu Tenmetsu do something other than just show up. Hado 99? Wow, that's fucking insane. I only know what it does based on the fucking Brave Souls animation.
Yeah, like we need like Hado 99 and also these secret Hados, and we also know like, all right, so Ichibei clearly knows these secret Hados and stuff like that because they're like the ultimate. They're the first 5. But what does Aizen or Urahara know them? Maybe.
I
Be
don't know.
interesting.
I think Ichibei is probably
I
the only
don't
person
think
that knows
Aizen
those
would
just because he's the
likely
guy
just
that knows
confuse
literally
using
everything because he's
it.
been around for a million years. He's the man that's literally been watching Soul Society throughout its entire history.
Yeah.
The guy's weird. He's technically a transcendent being. Actually, it's interesting when
Yeah,
I
he's
watched
not actually a Shinigami, which makes it
technically.
weird. Which once again, see that's what bothers me.
Technically, he was one of the people who I think chopped up the Soul King and made reality with the original families. I'm not take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I think he was one of those people. But
Watching Bleach power scaling videos, it's interesting how many people point out when characters become quote-unquote transcendent. Fucking base Kenpachi when fighting Gremmy is transcendent because no one can sense his spiritual pressure. I think the same technically goes for Kyoraku. I think because Lile couldn't sense his spiritual
what is
pressure.
Bankai
In his
that
Bankai,
Kenpachi-
he's transcendent.
But
I
remember
think.
that Aizen couldn't sense Dangai Ichigo's.
Yeah, so
spiritual
it's
pressure.
transcendent above like various other people's levels.
I think
but
it's relative.
it is
isn't it?
technically relevant.
It is
But you know what breaks that is that nobody could sense Aizen when he transformed, but Tatsuki could sense Aizen.
Oh, because he was intentionally lowering his spiritual pressure to fuck
He
with them
was
because
intentionally lowering
That's
Deicide
never stated.
Aizen is literally his character falling apart.
Yeah, but that's
Oh.
never stated. That's assumed.
Didn't he?
No,
did he
no,
not
he
say that he
stated-
was doing that?
it.
Because otherwise, they would
remember- I
literally
remember
they
saying
would
that.
cease to exist in his vicinity. Otherwise,
I've got
Yeah.
the entire Bleach manga
Remember
behind
that
me.
guy
Not
just
the
walked
volume.
past Aizen and literally went splat.
yeah, like he
When he was
walked
in that
past
form?
various people and they just fucking ceased to exist. That's how transcendent his spiritual pressure was. So when it
I
came
think
to
they just
him,
went splat.
for some reason, like a horror movie slasher monster deciding to just chase Ichigo's friends around Karakura Town, he's like, oh, I'm gonna lower my spiritual pressure to a level where they can feel it but not fucking die instantly. For some reason, because Deicide Aizen is not Aizen, honestly.
Look, he's just high. He's just.
He is high.
he's
I
not
mean,
a
once he
good
goes into
kid.
like the chrysalis form, he's like, "Oh yeah, I have no reason to be cautious of you guys anymore. Like, you can't do anything to me. I have no reason to be cautious."
Yeah, just imagine
He's
if you literally became almost basically a god, because that's what Aizen is at the end. He can't die. Like nobody in the series can technically kill Aizen.
Right. You know what? The
Without
implication
being,
from
like-
Yua in the anime is interesting because he seems to suggest that it would be possible for him to kill Aizen, but it would just take too long to be convenient. I'm wondering how exactly he would do that.
I can see
I'm
the
guessing
way.
I'm definitely thinking he has to use Almighty, and maybe some other stuff he used.
Well, like, what would it be? Like, literally just, like, deleting him from existence somehow, including the Hogyoku? Would it be somehow removing the Hogyoku from him, even though he's merged with the Hogyoku? Oh.
Maybe it would be reappropriating all of his spiritual pressure, energy, and all of that. But it's just like, okay,
It's like I'm on a
That's the
fucking
noise
I'm on a
that-
tight schedule here, Eisen. I can only spend 2 minutes here max. I have to show back up after Yamamoto kills Royd in order to kill Yamamoto. So like I'm kind of busy. I don't got time for your shit right now.
no, he would have wanted to show before Roy died.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Is it would have been in the shoot stuff and no cap. He would have been
Royd
in the
is
Royal
pretty fucking strong.
because he's not the one that copies power. He's the one that copies memories, which means he was fighting Yamamoto with his own strength.
Oh yeah, by the
Which
way, the 12 people that are still in here? I don't know how many people. Oh, we have a bot. I didn't notice it because I haven't checked chat in a while, and we don't have a mod in chat for some reason right now. Sexfind.xyz, be gone! What the fuck was I just about to talk about? Fuck. Oh, the 2022 Misc Awards are gonna be on Tuesday, I guess. So, that's just us doing a... Oh, is this what the announcement is about? Oh, fuck, yes it is! So, what we're doing Tuesday is, we're gonna rip off the Game Awards, and we're just gonna hand out awards for various shit on the server. So...
Yeah, but the voting hasn't even started yet.
It just started right now, as of like 1 minute ago.
Okay.
Should I stream this, perhaps?
I'm sorry, I'm a lying piece of shit.
You should feel bad, Griever.
I feel
Feel
so
bad.
terrible. I'm about to commit seppuku or whatever they call it.
We have some good choices here.
Goku.
Miscord Member of the Year.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who that is. I'm doing my voting right
Miscord
now.
Game of the Year.
I'm not gonna tell you. You know what? I really need to server because I want to build a castle in the Minecraft server.
Oh, yeah, you gotta make an account. I'll add you to the server. Oh fuck! I still need to add Sanctuary. I meant to do that like a week ago. I'm sorry, Sanctuary. I know you're not watching this, but I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I really preferred your. You'd think because you made a character after me in Elden Ring, I'd go with that, but I really preferred the God of War.
It was a really good playthrough.
That was fun. That was fun to listen to in the background while I was like cooking and doing shit. So yeah.
Neve's been talking a bit negatively about the game lately because there are some things in it that people have complained about, which are like somewhat reasonable complaints. But the most of the reason from what I can tell is Neve basically caught like the first 2 streams and then missed like the entire rest of the fucking game. So hard for them to say.
I'm not on this list. This is so sad. Let's see.
Oh, some of these quotes, I imagine you would probably have to look them up, but some of them are so fucking funny. A poker hand is just
All
like
right,
a fine meal.
you know, you can't deny. My Dear Brothers and Sisters by Koji is a fucking like the implications of that statement.
Let's see, hold on, I gotta find this one and read it. It is time to feast upon this meal with the absence of reckoning.
That was not even what I expected, but it still works. Yeah, my
That's
dear
the
brothers
only one I
anybody
could
who
find
doesn't
from
vote-
him.
Anybody who doesn't vote for My Dear Brothers and Sisters is fucking wrong. That shit is dark.
Trying to do a little prayer.
Oh wow, I didn't expect that one to end up in the fucking video of the year thing. I know what
Yeah,
my
video of
favorite
the
is.
year. You eat my favorite sandwich, and you got it wrong, but you it. So
It was the best I could do. I'll have
The
to go
best
to
you
a
could do,
fucking
yeah,
Kaiser's
exactly.
or whatever and
Like,
or get it done.
To be fair, miss, like that'd be like you saying, "Hey, you know this mom and pop shop I go to? recreate that. It's like, no, it's not going to be the same meat. It's not going to be the same this, so.
Yeah, it was the best I could do. And
Yeah.
even then, I'll just fucking order the ultimate next time. It seems to be even closer.
But it's funny because when I told you it was roast beef and turkey, you only ordered roast beef and turkey. It's like, no, a deluxe has salami, pepperoni,
I needed
ham,
to know
all
more.
that.
I needed even if I went and tried to get all of that shit, the fucking person behind the deli counter would probably think I'm a maniac. So
Yeah,
I would
because
probably just have to
here
buy everything and make
a
it myself.
standard deluxe has 5 meats.
That's fucking nuts.
It's so good though, man.
The
It's so
ultimate, the quote-unquote ultimate at Publix has 3 meats on it.
That's too little. Like that's just ham, pepperoni, and salami.
Who's the funniest
That's not enough.
person on this card?
You need more.
Worst takes is actually really hard to say because Fine has the worst general takes, but like if you go into the Kengan channel, it is like literally nothing but bad takes from various people.
Artist of the Year is hard. I really want to vote for band, but I honestly,
I mean, have you looked at Soda's art?
yeah, I really have. But you know his art, I really actually like. Like once again, it's sort of like the whole. I know Murata draws really well, but I don't like his character models. I really like Clover's. Like Clover drew me like twice, and they're some of my favorite portraits. So, it's hard. Rat also draws really well.
Oh, this best moment of the year things. I see one that's already gonna lose on here because it's something that's basically just exclusive to a small group of people.
Oh shit! I am on some worst takes of the year. Of course I am, because nobody likes the fact that I don't like fucking My Hero Academia and One Punch Man.
I'm pretty sure most people don't care that you don't like My Hero Academia. Most people on here are like it's sometimes it has really good weeks, sometimes it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah,
Alright, so
it lost me
worst
after
takes of
the
the year,
start of
so-
the anime.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the
Why
one.
is Koji on here for worst takes? Koji's the
Yeah, I
most
don't get
incoherent
that.
takes, but not the worst
I don't
takes.
get that. Yeah, like I can sort of see it. Okay, so I don't like One Punch Man. Yuta over Kenjaku.
That's just a
and
debatable take. That's not the worst.
fuck the Admiral agenda in One Piece. I guess like what are my other bad takes? I don't get why I'm on the list.
What Admiral agenda?
I don't remember.
Everyone has fucking
Uh,
Admiral agenda. in their
nothing?
fucking- I'm not going. Honestly, Fine is so critical. I want to go with Jobber because Jobber
his takes are fucking dog
Yeah,
shit on everything.
Kengan Omega. Now that I'm part of the Kengan Omega, Chet has
Thank you,
proven beyond a doubt that Jobber has terrible fucking takes, but Fine hates everything.
He does hate everything.
So
Fine
I'm torn between
90%
Fine
of
and
everything.
Jobber.
You know what? It was funny. We were talking the other day about Fine super critical and everything, and someone asked him, it was like, "Do you enjoy your life?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, do you think if you were happier with yourself, you would probably enjoy like other media more?" And he was like, "I don't know, probably." He's just a miserable person in general because he's German.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
not
well, I mean,
necessarily-
he's a seventh generation Nazi. I mean, what's
Now that's
Wait, has he been
mean.
seven
that was
generations?
dark.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
kidding. Just for legal reasons, I'm kidding.
Would I still put? I don't know. I guess I would probably still put Fine because he has like general bad takes.
I put Jobber, but I was Fine's another. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Fine.
Because I think just Jobber and fucking Libby just read a series they don't like.
Yeah, like at least when I read a series, I give it an honest try. Like how many series, like Misc, every time I do a read through, like sometimes I didn't like Tokyo Ghoul 2, but I loved King and Ashura, and I liked Tokyo Ghoul 1. So it's like I give you an honest try. You know what I mean?
I'm never recommending a controversial series to you ever again. I'm serious. Those streams
Yeah,
are so fucking painful to watch. You have no idea.
Oh God! Hey,
They
if it
were
was painful
so.
for you.
Oh my fuck! No, I want you to. I know you didn't enjoy it, for me, there was zero entertainment value in watching you read something you hated. I know there are some people that are like, oh, they should read this, they're gonna hate it, it's gonna be hilarious. For me, it's like, this is secondhand embarrassment. I can't fucking handle this. This is awful.
That's actually surprising, but actually kind of awesome.
I still tried to tune into your streams just so you would get like a viewer for them. I tried.
Yeah, no, it was. I couldn't stand it week to week. That shit was.
I'm telling you, you should have just dropped it. After a certain point, you just fucking dropped it.
You know what's funny?
I'm serious.
You know what's arguably is that the fact of the matter is I thought more about dropping after the Hatsumi versus Agito fight. I thought more about dropping after than I ever thought about dropping.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like 80% of the way through a series that you've really enjoyed, and after one terrible fight, you're like, this is fucking dog shit, I don't want to touch this anymore.
Hey,
you're the
guy. Hold on. Yeah, I believe it's your Discord who has more emojis of my face than yours.
Okay, that was the one time where that, and then you reading the end of round 7 was the only time where you reading something you hated was fucking funny, because we got funny stills out of it, okay? You made funny expressions with those. With Tokyo Ghoul, it was just misery. You were just,
Yeah,
I could tell every time you sat down to read fucking Tokyo Ghoul Re, you wanted to fucking kill me for recommending it to you. I could tell you fucking dreaded Friday nights.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Thank God I've only recommended good things to you since then. And well, Omega is just something you decided to keep.
And I am going to pick up whatever the fuck you mentioned. I have it pinned on probably next Friday, I hope.
Fuck yes. Speaking of,
what series is it? It's like an army series or something?
Ajin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not an army series. It just has an army guy in it.
Oh, okay. My bad.
It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. I think you'll like it.
It's a pretty good series. Although I'll tell you this in advance, there is one character you will be reading it for.
Yes. There was one guy that I read the series for, and he did not disappoint me at all. Though the series at large is still pretty good. It's pretty good. But like the one character, it's like this fucking guy, and then one other character who's not in it nearly as much, but is also really good. Those two guys are the stars of the show. Best
moment of the year.
Okay, so here's the issue with these. A lot of these are not moments.
I'm amazed. Yeah, first off, they're not moments, but second off, I am surprised and easily going to give it to the Lord of the Rings watch together.
Yeah.
That was
I would have to give it to that probably. That was really enjoyable.
Like, listen, I'm the one who voted for the Iceberg stream, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah,
I just enjoyed
it. It was the best stream we've had in a while.
Yeah, but the Lord of the Rings one was just a lot of fun because it included so many people. We had a lot of fun. We paused it a few times. Misc and I explained things because we know more about the lore and stuff. And it just, I feel like that was a lot of fun. And you know what? I would probably give it to Dungeons and Dragons campaigns if I ever listened in, but I don't. So
the thing is, we don't have the whole campaign recorded. We didn't record like the first 20 some odd sessions, and then we recorded the session where I introduced the main villain, which is probably still the best session I've run. Then we recorded like one session, fucking like 5 sessions later or something. And then from like session, 38 onwards, we've just been recording all of them. So much like many popular stream D&D campaigns, we didn't record the start of it.
Well, going on to their worst moment of the year, this one's a little tougher. Because
we just have rant and serious in general? Fuck.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to pick the comic hiatus for that one because I wasn't part of the Kengan channel until like late this year. So I don't know about all the toxicity. And once again, by reading it binging Omega, the worm shit doesn't bother me. So
for me, it'll be the Trial of Otto. That was the most fucking grating thing I've had to put up with this year, because he took a hour to respond to everything.
Yeah, that was annoying. I'll give it to you. But
The
I
D&D
just don't like the fact that I have to wait for
are
this.
here. Hold on, I'll give you the role for our D&D channel. We have them in a playlist there.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I like, of course, I don't know how to play D&D, so I would just listen in. But it'd be nice to listen in once in a while because I do listen in to other YouTubers do D&D campaigns.
Yeah, we did my main campaign, and then after a certain point, Playfree was like, I'm really interested in the setting you've made. Can I do like a prequel thing? And I'm like, sure. That ended up being like 20 sessions or something. And a
Okay.
few sessions in, I was like, hey, Playfree, I want this to actually be consequential to the main story. Like, I don't want it to just be this unimportant side thing. So he was like, okay, and now it's taken over the main story of the campaign.
Yeah.
Also, mostly because Playfree's a better DM than I am. So, can't be helped. That's what
You
happens
have different
someone...
talents.
That's what happens when someone is majoring in game design and then make a fucking D&D campaign.
Okay.
Miss,
So
you and him have different talents.
It's true, we do have different talents. Playfree, I think, is better at game mechanics, and I'm not sure what I'm better at.
Making something actually long term.
I mean, I
That's-
guess, but he made that with the intention of it being a shorter thing.
Discord
Even
Chef of the
he-
Year. I'm surprised there's so many options.
We kind of
Yeah.
had to stretch it with some of them. It's really
Yeah.
just you and Bernice, and then me, I guess.
Yeah.
But Danny
So-
occasionally posts food, and Cave makes eggs with spinach.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna vote not for myself. I'm voting for Bernice.
I'm
but-
also going to, because that like fucking graduation buffet thing he made,
that was-
holy
that was-
fuck! He
like,
made like
I gotta
20
admit,
things. He made like
He's-
20
What?
different fucking things. It was insane.
Yeah, but
Where is that in
to be
food and
fair,
cooking?
I'm not sure.
actually, just so we're clear, Bernice and I talked about this like off stream and stuff, and he did acknowledge that a lot of it, and when we boil it down, a lot of it's like really simple prep. Like it's things that like he goes, you could have made this, that, and that in 20 minutes, and I was like, well, what did you do? And he told me, and then I was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like that doesn't seem so hard. It's just that he was posting it all at once, making it seem like this huge thing. And Bernice does admit that. He's like, yeah, like it's not like some dishes were complicated. Of course they were, or were complicated for normal people. But they, a lot of the hors d'oeuvres and stuff were very simple. And I was like, yeah, okay. So, because I told him, I said, I'm blown away by I can make your quality every day of the week.
But the
but I can't
presentation of his
quantity.
stuff was really outstanding. In addition
Yeah,
to the quality.
Right, and he just said, no, you could make my quantity if you did the tricks that I do. And I said, all right. So we were talking for a while, and yeah, so it would be fun, actually, for me and Bernice to have a cooking competition, because I said to Bernice one time, you can cook pasta around me. You're Italian. Your pasta is always going to be better than mine. But I do still think I got you beat on other cuisines. And he goes, yeah, probably. So there is it is a 50-50, and that's why like we've been joking in food cooking that we're the two kings, two emperors, whatever, rather than like arguing who's better. It's just we're just both really fucking good at cooking.
Honest to God, that fucking sandwich video is probably the video I've enjoyed making the most in the last year. I don't know what it was. I tried to make 2 more videos since then, and I finished them, and I'm like, this is fucking dog shit. These suck. I haven't been able to
Wow.
recapture the magic.
It was something so different than everything else you made up until that point.
And it was full
And
of
also,
soul.
I have to go with Sebastian because Crypto's cat died, and that's very sad.
Shout out to Sebastian.
Like I don't no offense, I don't know of these. Is Nina
That's the rat creature.
Yeah. So you all like most of these are either a bunch of what you consider dogs but are rats, and then you have Misc's cat. So
Who
I'm
is
like,
a champ. Shout out to my cat.
Yeah, so it was either gonna be Mark or it was gonna be Sebastian because I'm not voting for a dog that
Big
can be
fucking
eaten
bastard.
by my
He's a
cat.
big
So
son of a bitch. 20-pound Bengal. He's not fat, he's just fucking huge. It's a big ass cat.
I mean, yeah, but at the end of the
Well,
day,
yeah,
like
it's nowhere near as big as
Is
my
it?
cat Ace, but he's just fat.
if you can pick up if a 10-year-old can pick up your dog, that's not a dog.
It's
That's a
fucking
giant rat.
What if
That's a
A
rodent,
10-year-old
alright?
couldn't pick up
10-year-old
my
kid's
French
really
bulldog.
strong.
He has 30 pounds of muscle. He's a fucking brick.
Well, still, well, I don't care for bulldogs, but fair point. Like when I
love
talk dogs, I want
although
bulldogs.
I love
Like
all
when I think of a dog, I'm thinking golden retriever, husky, Labrador. I'm thinking Great Dane. I'm thinking I'm thinking real dogs. Not this bullshit.
It was so funny the first time my dad had to clean out my bulldog's ears. He fucking, he had to, like, manhandle him, and my dog was physically overpowering him trying to escape.
How
You
strong
thought
is that
he was,
bulldog?
that was straight up fight or flight instinct strength. That was nuts.
What the hell is this human trying to do to me? What the hell is this human trying to do to me? Oh, I can hear much better now.
I would love to see the votes for the nominations.
How does anybody check that?
There isn't a way. Play Free, I think, is the only one that can see them set it up. But I would like to know which ones got suggested more than once. With quotes, it was really hard to choose. There are
I'm
a
gonna
couple
be really
there.
pissed off if I get the bad takes one.
No, it'll probably be fine because everyone's like, "Fucking Christ,
It's
fine
probably
doesn't
gonna
enjoy
be
anything."
fine. But I would be curious to know, like, if Playfree can see like who got like if like percentage based, like if he would know who got like second.
Oh wait, hold on. He's giving me access to it right now. He must be watching this. I need access, Play Free. I'm gonna request
Access to me. We're hungry.
Oh wait, no, he's not listening. I just literally, I forgot I sent the message in the miscellaneous. I'm so silly.
Well, he's supposed to be listening.
Well, he's theoretically listening.
Well, I mean, technically, aren't we all supposed to be listening? Like, I know you don't streams, but I like to assume you do.
Oh yeah, speaking of, when do you think you're gonna do that Tenkaichi stream? I'm not trying to pester you. I just like knowing when things are gonna be.
No, I know, and that's why you keep messaging me, and because I was the one to suggest it, so that one's all on me. It depends on how this work week goes. I'm definitely working tomorrow, which I should probably be in bed by now. But I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Let's see, which members were nominated the most consistently? Playfree, Neve, me, Clover. Those seem to be the ones I notice most consistently being.
I'm gonna go walk my dogs.
Have
Yeah.
fun.
Alright, see ya.
So many singular ones.
Well, the voting, of course, is not closed. When does the voting?
I imagine it'll probably close sometime tomorrow or right before whenever we do the awards, which will be streamed, by the way.
Well, just so we're clear, most like sports pools, 15 minutes before the game starts.
That makes sense.
The general idea. Place your bets 15 minutes before.
I'm glad we acknowledge that I'm technically staff because I'm the owner. And I do have the power to make channels, roles, give those things out to people, ban people. I do have the privileges of a staff member. Let's see, for fucking Game of the Year.
I never ask you for anything. I always ask Clover.
That's hilarious.
I do. Like, the reason that my name is in yellow is because I asked Clover. I'm the only one with a yellow name. It's only
Let's
because
see.
it has Clover.
One person's suggestion for game of the year was Super Auto Pets. Amazing.
Wow.
We have a lot of God of Wars, a lot of Elden Rings, several Ultra Kills. Not that many people voted, actually. Not that many people submitted suggestions.
So what's the cook ratio right now? Bernice winning?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the vote counts. I'm looking at the suggestion submissions
Oh.
that we got the
alright.
nominations from. So fairly consistent suggestions for Game of the Year. Several, a lot of Usoguis, a lot of Jujutsus. We got
I
one
voted
Toriko,
Toriko.
two Torikos.
Yeah, that's one of those is mine.
I see two Torikos. Several.
I'll tell you why.
Jujutsus,
The only
Chainsaw
reason is because we added like 3 fucking people to the Toriko cult this year. So I don't give a fuck about
did that. Okay,
exactly. So I argue that holds merit.
it does, but the same thing happened with Usogui. Though
Ah,
basically
fair
those
enough.
two are the series of the year, in all honesty, because those are the ones that took over the server the most.
All right. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I hate to concede the point, but like
I'm
but
not.
all
I'm just saying they both did.
No, but Bernice reread Toriko. We got Dio into it. We got Bob into it. We got not fine. We got who
And
else?
too, kind of.
Yeah, and Band was into it. So and Bob Band fine and fucking Dio and Bernice read it a second time. All I'm arguing that across the year we added quite a few people to the Toriko call.
Let's see here.
You also added a few. So,
Yeah.
so
Let's see. Quote of the year suggestions. Alright, I see 2. Let me see if I see any more for that one. No, there was only 2 of me saying if I spent $10,000 on crack, it would be so I could smoke it all at once and kill myself. Which I do think is the funniest thing I've said this year. Fine's good poker hand thing, which I forget the exact context of him making that, but I thought it was so fucking funny. Like, cause he just fucking, like, made it up on the spot. I couldn't believe it. What else do we have here? We are at the bottom of the barrel. That one got recommended once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Looks like 4 times for that one. This is 2 for my dear brothers and sisters. What the fuck does this one say? I can't tell. Yeah, looks like basically those, and then whatever the fuck else got nominated. For staff members of the year, well, there's only so many staff members. That's pretty, consistent. We got how many people suggesting Clover? Or for Heart of the Server, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, hold on. It's kind of hard to tell with this Excel spreadsheet format. Kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 suggestions for Clover being nominated. 1, 2,
gonna go
3, 4. Looks like 5 for Gracie. Bob. Let's see. How many people suggested? How many people picked certain ones for Video of the Year? Best Boss in Elden Ring. Oh my God! Whoever. That fucking JJK chapter 118 is from 2 years ago. That would not qualify. You son of a bitch. Whoever the fuck made that suggestion.
I can honestly say it would be a good troll, but it wasn't me. I voted for the Rings. I'm not an asshole.
How many people? We got 1 vote for the sandwich one, 2 votes, 3 votes. Four votes for that one. Let's see. 1, 2. 3. I think 4 votes for the Elden Ring one. Let's see here.
We apparently got Mark to read Toriko. So.
We did now. That's great, because Mark has 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, well, that man is beating both of our asses.
Apparently, yeah.
And a baseball bat.
He is one of 2 people whom I get notifications for when he comments on something.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much.
YouTube just gives me the notifications when Mark comments on a video.
Oh, wow. And Zuri said Toriko looks like a combination of Hunter x Hunter and Food Wars. I can't prescribe to Hunter x Hunter, but it is before Food Wars, and it does food in a similar idea with the foodgasm.
Better,
This
because
is
it's
done, they're done more subtly.
It's
They're
not
done in a more
cringy,
man-
etchy shit.
Yeah, it's not done in the hentai world.
Let's see, suggestions for worst take of the year. Oh, I can tell which ones Rat did, because his suggestions are all really lazy. Let's see, worst takes of the year. Fine. Why did 2 people vote for Koji? Fine. Almost every single person suggested fine.
Anybody? I want to know. Did anybody vote for me?
Let me see how many people suggested you.
Yeah. I feel like Gio voted for me.
We got 1 for you, 2 for you, 3 for you. Looks like you only got 3 suggestions.
Alright, so that was Jobber, Dio, and...
Probably Neo.
Yeah. Probably.
Alright,
Well, what are you gonna do?
who else? Who else got a lot of suggestions? Fucking Jobber, obviously.
Yeah, I
don't know,
voted...
1, 2, 3, 4,
Voted for Jobber or Fine.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, well, I'm not even in second place for that one.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I'm probably not gonna win. Best moments of the year, just my D&D campaign in general. That one picture of Griever eating Keng.
Wait. Somebody suggested the Hatsumi.
That's the best moment.
Listen, I'll tell you what I voted. I voted for something totally different, but it wasn't related to me, so that makes me laugh. It was something. You know what? Let that one win.
Slavery roleplay, which was a thing. I thought that happened. Actually, don't remember when that happened. I just remember seeing it was a thing that was going on and going, "What the fuck?"
I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
myself.
that was not a big thing, if I recall.
No, probably.
Shame Black Star Battlezone didn't get in. That was so fucking funny. That was so fucking funny. I think that was the funniest moment of the year for me personally. The Black Star Battlezone shit. That was hilarious.
Oh, and you know what? You know what's funny is that's like, I don't want to really take credit, but that's my guy.
That was your guy, and then it bled over into here.
Yeah, and so it's a funny moment for your stream. I don't get any money.
Stuff related to my D&D campaign. Neo losing his mind over what? I can't tell.
Well, Neo loses his mind over a lot of things. So.
He does do that. That's true. I've got several many for the 24-hour stream. One of my suggestions for worst moment of the year was the 24-hour stream being lost. But that was more for me personally.
You know what? One of my recommendations for that was the 24-hour stream that I wasn't able to attend.
Hmm.
Like I feel really bad. Like I felt like that. Like you and I didn't really coordinate that well, Miss. To be fair,
Mm-hmm.
because had you said, "Look, we're gonna do it this day," you told me literally like 8 hours before you were gonna do it.
Hmm.
You didn't tell me like 3 days before. You gave me like a day or less than half a day, and I was like, yeah, sure, and I couldn't do it.
I thought you were there for like a decent portion of it.
I was there for about 2 hours, maybe 3, but it was literally like the day you were doing it, my wife showed up,
Hmm.
so I had to go pick her up, and of course it's all that shit, and then of course the day after is, well, all right, what are we doing? We gotta go see family. We gotta do this. I gotta do that, and then by the time I got home, you guys were like done.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, sorry.
Let's see. Looks like the only moment that has big overlap between best and worst moment of the year is the Koji condom moment.
What is the Koji condom?
When he was mimicking the For Neverworld picture.
Oh, I thought literally I didn't somebody I said I would do that if it would get me lols, and somebody edited a picture of me doing that.
They took that one picture of you trying to do like a fucking sexy face or whatever, and they just edited it into your mouth.
Oh right, my whole
that thing.
It wasn't me doing a sexy face. It was me doing a lip bite. It was,
that.
But yeah. No, that's kind of funny.
Oh yeah. Why is Koji apparently having a GF in worst moment? Why is that bad? Why was that
Literally,
suggested?
now, I understand now why you don't want to put your face on the fucking internet, because people take their... Like, how many... My face is on your Discord more than anybody else's face.
Oh my god.
Though, to be fair, some of them are kind of funny.
Some of them are kind of funny. Those are usually the ones that get pinned.
I don't care for the one with all the eyes.
Yeah, I was just fine losing his mind because he doesn't sleep enough.
But I do appreciate the worm one. Worm one is
The worm one is good. The worm one was funny.
Yeah, because it was like had I known I was posing for a picture, I would have done it a little more subtly, and that way it wouldn't have been so blurry, you know.
Yeah. Hold on, I want to
like,
see.
Like, Neve and Fine and Bernice, all they need to do is ask me to pose. You know, it's, you know.
I need to find that picture of you reacting to the end of round 7, because my god, were some of those pictures fucking funny.
Oh, you have pictures of me reacting to that? I've never seen those pictures.
Well, let me see. They have a very similar energy to you reading the Hatsumi fight.
Oh, I need them then. We need to post a lot more of them. Like, Grim Reaper's Discord used to have a couple of gifs of me like sipping tea or chugging a beer or something.
I recall.
Yeah, and they were a lot of fun because people would just constantly like post like or the whole chug or whatever, and I mean they work for emojis, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
If I had them, I'd use them myself. I'm vain enough to do that. All I'm doing is sitting here filling out fucking receipt forms to win $500. 1 out of 3 chance.
Oh, that's nice.
Win 1 out of 3 $500 cards. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been filling out all my receipts for the last month.
You know what I think's really funny that I just thought about? A lot of people complain about how battle manga seem to have a bias against Chinese characters. And then some of these seem to do a very good job at making the fan base hate these Chinese characters.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, fair point. I don't know why people are constantly trying to bring race into shit.
Well, it's less a race thing and more a nationality thing. You mean when the manga do it? Like,
yeah.
Why do the manga always bring shit into it? Historical reasons.
Yeah.
Like, the Japanese invaded China. And they're not really... Actually, I'm pretty sure they've invaded each other at different points through history. Korea has a really, really
Oh wow,
bad
Korea,
history
Korea
with
has
the Japanese.
yeah. We're gonna talk about Korea, then we got things to talk about.
I remember how insane it was when I found out there was an arc in Solo Leveling when it was being adapted into the webcomic, where I was like, man, Japan sure is getting fucked, and these Japanese characters sure are being made to look really incompetent. And I was told in the light novel that one of the more relevant characters basically talked about the Japanese as if they were fucking subhumans and didn't give a shit if they all died.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah!
Goddamn, like, was this supposed to be like a lesson in the light novel? Like, was this supposed to be a
No,
they're
it's fucking
people
weird,
too,
because
or...
the guy's generally one of the more likable characters. He's technically like the older, not necessarily mentor character, but he's like one of the the old guy character.
Yeah, sure.
And he acts a little bit more like an old person than you generally expect from these forms of media.
Wow,
I couldn't
I'm-
fucking believe it when I read that. I was like, holy
That-
shit.
yeah, I'll admit, I'm quite flabbergasted.
Alright,
At
let's
that.
see. Can we find any of the pictures? Do we have any here? Nah, it doesn't seem like it. Really? I could have sworn we posted some.
Yeah, I'd love to see pictures of that because you know what the one thing I hate screenshot of me after the Hatsumi fight.
Mm-hmm.
But why'd you have to take the one where I was leaning back and fucking like it looks like I'm like such a fat ass?
We didn't think you look fat. You just look so defeated. You just look so full of despair in that picture.
Understand, but from my perspective, like where I'm not shredded anymore, but I am fit.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's this big like line of red, and I'm just like leaning back, and there's just like, oh, here's my big beer guy. To me,
You having fun looking at the
like,
suggestions?
I am having some fun looking at the suggestions. I didn't realize how many people fucking suggested one thing.
Yes. It was very fun for me.
And, you know, it's occurred to me that a lot of us are kind of illiterate.
Mm-hmm. Listen, it's either... If you can't do, like, 5, if you're unable to think, that's fine. But, like, come on, try to at least do more than one. That's all I say.
Well, to be fair, when I did mine, I was not aware of the 5.
It was... Yeah, that's why it said it.
Yeah, well, I chose.
No, but
not
at the
to
same
read it,
time,
okay.
you put multiple thing, right? Hold on,
No,
you did
no,
not.
No, I think
I
you're
looked at
talking
the
to
wrong.
me.
I
Wait,
I was looking at the wrong thing.
Certain questions did post. Some of them actually said post multiple ones or whatever. Like one of them was I think moment of the year or video of the year. One of them said post whichever videos can be more than one or something. Like there was actually a specific thing that said you can post more than one. So then I would. But outside of that, when it said what's the best like person of the year or something, I was like,
well, best person. It's in the parenthesis. It said nominations, plural.
I
I
put
put-
hairs a little bit.
I mean, I did write it.
Yeah, I know.
did
So
make
that's
it.
why it's so fucking garbage.
And
like,
also,
because you
looking
fucking
at
wrote
when
it. Had you let
you
me write it, it might have
looking
been
at when
proper
you
fucking English.
made your response, that was after Miss said to clarify, write your 5 choices. I do
don't
have-
read- You think I read what Misc writes?
It's
Ethan?
true. Why would he ever
That
read
is
something I write?
Oh, Realist said air bubbles, Griever, air bubbles. Yeah, Griever, yeah.
Air bubbles.
I know. Nobody likes air bubbles. Oh, is that what we're talking?
No, apparently apparently a third of my viewer base likes the air bubbles. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's you know, the responses right now are interesting.
Really?
Some not what I expected. Not what I expected.
Really? Which category would you say has the most interesting responses?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too.
Let's see. Going interesting. Member. That's like honestly was a little shocking me right now. You don't
Definitely
really
gonna
shock
be
me.
banned despite his inactivity.
Of course, he wasn't even a
People-
nomination, but he's
It's one
gonna
of
put
those
it.
things. People just love band in general.
Oh, hold on. I need to check again to see who are the nominations.
The nominations are Clover, you, Neo, Neve, me.
As heart of the server.
No, not heart of the just member. Member of the year. The number one.
Why the fuck
Heart of-
did Neo get no offense, Neo, but why the fuck did Neo
Listen,
get nominated?
in the end, I
Yeah, I
went
don't
off
get
of
it.
who had the most nominee. You know, it
no
was a.
offense, no offense to Play Free. I don't know why Play Free's.
Playfree's
I mean,
done quite a bit for us.
I was indeed the. I mean, I can take the votes. I was either the
No,
most or
I-
second
I
most
know you're
nominated.
involved. What I don't mean to be insulting. Like as Miss said, I don't mean to insult Neo. I know you're there and I know you're around, but I'm saying like above Misc and Clover, that makes no sense.
I listen. All I'm saying is what the things are saying that here. Actually, I have it written down. Some of them because I did get confused. Misc got nominated less than I thought he would. I got
mostly
nominated
Dan
far
and
more
Clover,
than I
wasn't it?
thought I would.
Interesting.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't mostly banding.
Band barely got voted.
Yeah, that's what
Really?
happens when you're inactive for
The
most of the
most the person that the people that got voted the most were me and Neve.
year. That makes sense.
Wow, that's actually surprising to me.
You gotta pay attention. I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm around. I'm just not here every day.
Most other things don't really shock me. Chef doesn't shock me. Pet's not shocking me. Worst moments not shocking me. Best moments not shocking me. Funniest is interesting. Worst takes is interesting. Artist not shocking. Yeah, most of the stuff, you know, it's pretty good or worse. Some of them are pretty good back and forths.
Listen, worst takes is going to fine, and everybody knows it. Don't need
I don't know. I mean, listen, you got the category in the categories. Fine. There's Ugriever. There's Jobber.
Yeah,
there's
I know
Koji,
there's
and there's
me, but
Lubby.
we already, Misc and I already discussed this before you jumped in. It's like it's Jobber or fine. It's not me. We good, man.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't vote you.
I
Actually,
voted
hold
me.
on.
Just
Hold on.
to-
Actually, let me see who I voted.
I think I voted me to keep it interesting.
Yeah, I know who I voted.
It's funny how Markiplier.
I
was
either
trying to
voted
average
Jobber
vote.
or myself, just because I thought it'd be funny. Because I think Fine is undisputably gonna win that one. And then, as far as cooks go, I already gave the crown to Bernice long before we even started. So, Bernice is gonna win that.
No, we'll also have to wait and see till Tuesday. I mean, I won't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, the only thing I will say is, I said, the only thing I'll be pissed off is if, we get Bernice at number 1 for Cook, which is all good with me, but if I'm not number 2, then I got a problem with everybody's taste buds.
Not gonna. Number 2s won't be shared.
Oh, I'm gonna
Some-
ask.
All right.
I'm gonna find out. Don't you worry. I've got that 007 level of espionage. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I'll figure it out. I got my Q
Why
gadgets.
the fuck does Viz promote the volume for Red Hood? Why would you promote an Axed series? I don't understand.
Somebody's promoting Red Hood right now.
Viz is.
Fuck.
I went to
I
Barnes
sorry,
and Noble
watching
the
the
other
mogul
day.
chess boxing.
You know-
Oh
You know
no!
What makes me sad is it was good.
Point Crow lost.
Now, honestly,
I liked it.
the
was
editor
good.
fucking sucked. You know that editor? The editor
Alright,
for
I'll
that
be out.
series
Have fun.
is the same person who's been the editor for like 3 other Axed series, and you know what? He was the editor for My Hero when it started going downhill in the most recent arc.
Wow.
Like right before the recent Endeavor stuff, he was the person that was the editor, and then they got rid of him, and like literally the week after was like the fucking best My Hero chapter in the last year. It was nuts. Or I guess second best was the Stars and Stripes shit this year. I can't remember. I think it was this year, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, okay, so then like the second best chapter of the year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shin basically has Stray Cat's power from JoJo Part 4, but not as cool and creative. Yeah, pretty much. It's much cooler when you got like a little cat flower thing doing air bubbles as opposed to the first emperor of China.
This is true. Curiosity, Misc, how much longer are we streaming for?
I can end any minute now. I got nothing else to talk about. I'm drained.
Alright.
I've given it all I have.
Yeah,
I've given all I have to the stream.
Then promote me on your way out because I head to bed.
Oh, everyone, subscribe to Griever's channel. He's linked on the channel page. If you go to the channels tab, he's on there. You can also find him on the Discord. You should do that. Anywho, that's gonna be pretty much all for tonight, folks. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe if you're watching this